ESPN, 100.5 ESPN Madison, of course. Wisconsin On Demand app and WisconsinOnDemand.com. Wilde Tausch will be joining us shortly, and we'll have... Oh, we do have Tausch. So Tausch is here. Good morning, Tausch. What's going on, buddy?
I'm wondering that same thing. What's going on this morning? How are you? How are you, Gabe?
We're having some technical issues. I was just talking about when the golf season was going to open, and next thing I know, Josh is yelling at me to come in the studio. So, let's have a little conversation about the Green Bay Packers and everything going on in 1265 Green Bay.
Well, I actually feel like even for you, you're not golfing in this today, right?
No.
So as we're waiting for Wilde, how did Thursday go? I know you raised a ton of money. You got Scalzo to get a haircut, Brust getting punched in the face, Joshy getting tattoos. How did you shoot? How many birdies? All that good stuff.
Finished up with 10 birdies. Felt pretty good about the number. That's kind of the goal every year is to get to 10. Could have been a little higher. Missed a couple of shorties in there, but. I mean, that was Thursday and Friday were the last good weather days we had for golf, but it ended up being a great day out at the Bog, and big thanks to everybody at the Mac Fund for putting on that event. So it ended up being a great day. Hung out with Stephen Watson and Greg Matzik all day. I ended up having more birdies than they did. Not that it was a competition or anything, Tausch.
Combined, probably.
I mean, yeah. If you want to do that. But they also had the best shots of the day. We'll talk about this on the tee tonight. But Watson holed out from Eagle from a bunker on a par 5, and Matzik holed out from 140 yards. So there were some pretty good golf shots.
Speed of play.
Oh, yeah. That'll help. That'll certainly help some golf shots.
Fantastic. All right, so I missed your guys' show this morning. I know how I feel about the draft. How did the Jen, Gabe, and Chewy family feel about what we saw transpire over the last 3 days for the Green Bay Packers?
The draft class, I think Goody did what he had to do in terms of addressing some of the needs. Offensive line, maybe, he didn't take an offensive lineman, but there were so many holes to me on this roster, Tausch, that you could only address so many. And he addressed the immediate needs. When you have, Josiah DeGuara, who's basically a fullback, and then your guy Smitty, Tyler Davis, who has 8 career catches, you kind of had to address the tight end position. So he goes out and gets a couple of those guys. When you have nobody that has more than 1 year of experience in the NFL playing wide receiver, you just need bodies on the roster. So you get one in the 2nd round, you get one in the 7th round, you just continue to add to that position as well, depth along the defensive line, and all those sort of things. But the one thing that we really talked about a lot today, and I want to know how you feel, Tausch. So answer this question for me, pal. If the Packers don't pick up Jordan Love's 5th-year option today or tomorrow, are they sending a message about how they really feel about him?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no doubt, because if you really believe that Jordan Love is the answer moving forward, you're going to pay $23 million for him to be the quarterback. You're not asking to pay $50. You're not going to ask to pay the going rate for what it is. What I think you do is you dabble here for a day or two and try to do something, less market value, more guaranteed money, get him for 3 years and do it. Or I'll be fat. Goody's answer was really interesting.
Super interesting.
We'll see. It's a lot of money. No, it's not a lot of money.
No.
In the grand scheme of things, yeah, it's a ton of money.
In the NFL?
Quarterbacks?
No, that's nothing.
For a starting NFL quarterback that you just traded your old MVP quarterback away for to put him in this job. Now, do you need to be skeptical and do you need to have plans and backup plans? Yes. But when you do that, you in essence should be saying, we believe in him.
Yeah.
And don't tell me about it. Show me you believe in him. Jordan Love, I think, in the long run, it won't matter because his play will dictate what happens. But if you don't think that sends a message to him and to everybody in that locker room, if you don't pick up that $24 million 5th-year option, everybody in that locker room is thinking, if things get a little hairy here, who knows? Maybe Clifford, the fifth-round pick, might be the guy, or they're building to really wait and see how it goes. I think $20 million, while it's a lot, you can also, I think that's protected for injury. When Jason joins us, he can tell me. I think it's a must move to give it to him, and I don't think they're going to. That's going to be very fascinating to watch unfold as this season goes. But the bottom line is he's got to prove it. I just think if you really believe in him, you don't blink at giving him 20, whatever it is. That's way below market rate for someone that you believe is going to be your franchise quarterback moving forward. Or if you don't do it, you're a lot more skeptical about it than maybe we all think you are.
Ask and you shall receive, Tausch, as Jason Wilde is there. Jason, how shocked were you guys when Brian Gutekunst answered the follow-up question from Bill Huber yesterday during the press conference of why wouldn't you pick up the fifth-year option with, well, that's a lot of money for a guy who hasn't started?
Well, first and foremost, huge thank you to Josh DiMaggio and Ashton Rotman, who are outstanding teammates. There was some sort of technical glitch. I was like Marty McFly running around in Back to the Future. Damn it, Doc, I'm late for school. They got it fixed. They are awesome. So thank you to both of them. Secondly, you guys know me. I don't argue about much. I don't get heated about much. That is not my MO.
Yep.
I know it does. It gets you heated, some might say. I think Domofsky and Bill Huber and I wasn't mad at them, but I was passionate about my opinion, which unfortunately for you, Tausch, is the same as yours. The messaging that this sends, if they don't give him the fifth-year option, is basically saying, yeah, all that stuff you heard about how confident we are and how ready he is, we were lying. That's the message. And that's the message to Jordan, too. So this idea, and it's $20.3 million, and it is fully guaranteed. So it's even less. Yes, exactly. But it is fully guaranteed. And I thought Goody had a great weekend. I'm not sold on Sean Clifford. I'm not sold on a kicker who tore his ACL and is 53% for his career outside of 40 yards, replacing Mason Crosby, which, by the way, if you're telling everyone that you're ready to go with a rookie sixth-round pick and not Mason Crosby, you're telling everyone that you're rebuilding. I know people don't want me using that word. It's a bad word. But a year ago, you were saying, of course we're bringing Mason back. If you have a championship-level team, you want a championship-level kicker. Now they don't want a championship-level kicker because I don't think you can argue that he's completely not a championship-level kicker. So I didn't like those two picks. But I liked everything else the guy did until he answered Bill Huber's question with, that's a lot of money for a guy who hasn't played. Like, to me, and I don't know how you guys heard it, but for me, sitting there, I thought that was, yeah, I've said all these great things about Jordan, and I've just erased them all like I just shook an Etch-a-Sketch. Wow, because that was the first time that I have heard him talk in he has said, he's got to go out there and prove it. It's not easy for a first-time starter, all those things. But he has exuded confidence in Jordan Love time and time and time again. And if they give him the $20.3 million today or tomorrow, then this is just a blip. And I'm not sure if I understand it, but it's just a blip. If they don't give it to him, I just don't know how you sell the fan base on how convinced you are based on all you saw in practice and 10 snaps against the... He's basically, by saying that, Tausch, saying what we have been saying on this show the whole time, you don't have enough data to be able to know if he's good enough or not, and you just traded a Hall of Famer whose crap you were sick of to New York to clear the runway for him. So I was taken aback by it. Rob and Bill said, look, it is a lot of money to give a guy who hasn't played. You have him play the first 7-8 games, and if he looks the way you expect him to, you sign him to an extension like they did with Rodgers, and you give him more than $20.3 million guaranteed. And they might be right. But the Aaron Rodgers era launched during a time where we didn't have the fifth-year option. Rodgers was under contract for 2 more years, and then they extended him. This is different. This is a different world, and the message is, yeah, we're not so sure about him either. Tell me why I'm wrong to think that, because I was told I was wrong to think that way.
Oh, well, who told you were wrong?
My guys, Bill and Rob.
Oh, so Rob and Bill both think that they shouldn't give him the fifth-year option.
Well, they both think they're not, which I thought it was I don't know about you, but I've been operating under the assumption that it's a no-brainer.
So here's the deal. If you think he's going to stink, you don't do it. If you think he's going to be okay and building, you do it in a heartbeat. Because Daniel Jones just got 40-some-odd million, $20 million for a starting quarterback in this league, even one that is, bottom tier, is still a very good value for your franchise, and it gives you a potential, if he's really good, which we all hope he is, it gives you a great baseline to give him an extension. Say, well, we got this 20, another 5 years, you do this. It gives you that that starting point that always gets a little tricky when you're negotiating. That's why I think this would be very telling. I think to most of us, I understand what Goody's saying, and he's right, but you made this decision based on his development.
3 years ago, first of all.
I feel like this lets you know even more so that this was more about being sick and tired of Aaron Rodgers than it is about anything with Jordan.
Thank you.
Because we asked this a bunch about, well, how Jordan Love obviously had the game against Philly and the touchdown to Watson and all the other stuff, but you still didn't hear that effusive praise. You heard, well, he's getting better, and you heard LaFleur tempering down expectations. I think this would be a bad sign from the Green Bay Packers to its fan base if you say, nah, I just don't know. $20 million to a quarterback is a nothing burger, guys. And I get that. I understand not seeing the entire deal and the fact that you don't know yet with Jordan, but you have to have a good enough inkling that you'll pay him bottom third starting money to play in this league. What did Geno Smith get? $30 million?
Mm-hmm.
I don't even. Geno Smith is getting that. You could get him basically for $21 million, $22 million for 2 years. It's $11 million a season. And you're going to tell me that it ain't going to be worth it? That's a lot of money? No, it's not. You know it's not. Just say, I'm kind of frightened that he might not be very good, and I don't want to have to pay him $20 million while I'm drafting a rookie next year and trying to play Sean Clifford. So, no, I'm with you on this. I hope he gets it. I hope they give it to him. And even if things go south, it's really not the end of the world next year because Rodgers is no longer going to be hammering your cap. You're going to probably shed some other stuff. It's the price of doing business when you make a bold move. And if you don't do this, if I'm Jordan Love, I am going to stick it to you next year if I am good. If I'm really good, now you're going to have to pay me top dollar. Good luck. So I'm sure news will break here. We got a day and a half before they have to make that determination. I hope it comes back saying, yeah, we thought about it. We believe in Jordan, and we're going to do it. And if they don't, ooh.
Jordan Love is counting $3.09 million against the cap this year. His base salary is $2.298 million. So when you did the math, you're paying $23 million for him for this year and next year if you pick up the option. Obviously, other quarterbacks are getting the option picked up, right? Justin Herbert has his, even though the Chargers quickly said this is just a bridge to a long-term contract. I understand that Jordan Love hasn't played, and I'm not putting him in Justin Herbert's class, but this could also serve as a bridge to a long-term contract if you see what you want, like you saw what you wanted to see from Aaron Rodgers. So it ends up being a fail-safe. Now, I understand there's the risk of him not being very good, but you've been telling us how good he is. I couldn't believe this.
Have they?
Have they
been telling you how
the
great
GM
he is,
keeps
though?
telling us
have
that.
They?
The GM has.
He said he's gotten better. I don't know if I believe that.
Absolutely, he's ready to be a starter in the league. Absolutely was his phrase.
Okay.
Like, here's my thing, and I went into the weekend, especially after all those picks, thinking that today would be a day where I would have to talk about not knowing whether or not these guys are going to turn out, but Goody had a great weekend. I told you the two picks I didn't like.
Well,
that's it.
Yeah, we don't know if he had it.
And those are third-day picks.
Yeah.
But he checked all the boxes he needed to check. He replenished the defensive line. He replenished the wide receivers. He got two of the best 5 tight ends rated in the draft.
Didn't draft an O-lineman. Didn't even draft an O-lineman. So,
but
for as much as you want to rave about it,
I came in wanting to praise him.
Okay.
And then he said what he did on Saturday evening, and I thought, there's not many times where I sit there in that at that podium in the peanut gallery and go, I can't believe he just said that.
Did you audibly gasp?
I didn't audibly gasp, but I was like, whoa, as Tausch would say. 800-990-3776. Look, if I don't want to be the one who's the Goody hater. I was dealing with some of that on Twitter over the weekend. I don't want to deal with that here. So you tell me, as a Packers fan, you heard what he said. What did that tell you about how they feel about Jordan Love? Did it send a message to you as a Packers fan that they don't believe as much in him as you would like him to believe in him? Because that's what it said to me. I have been operating under the assumption that despite the lack of a track record, this was a no-brainer. And apparently I was wrong. They may still give it to him. They're still working through it. But he literally said out loud, it's a lot of money to give a guy who hasn't played. I can't believe he said it. So what does that tell you as a Packers fan?
You can say the same thing about Van Ness or any of these other guys. That's a lot of money. Yeah, that's how the NFL works. And Goody knows that.
All right, you get your game face on for your debut of the May
1st.
read about Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin while I give the number one more time. Jesse's out today. I was almost out, too. 800-990-3776. 800-990-3776. What did Brian Gutekunst, saying what he did about Jordan Love, it's a lot of money to give a guy who hasn't played, and the uncertainty of giving him the fifth-year option, tell you as a Packers fan? 800-990-3776. I'll tell you one thing that does come with a lot of certainty. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
You know what is not very certain? Wisconsin weather. I cannot believe. Wasn't it just 2 weeks ago? 80 degrees. Air conditioning. Opening your windows. Today, snowstorms out there. And you know what? Do you experience different climates throughout your home? I know I do. Wild temperature swings. What can I describe Wisconsin better than wild temperature swings? And that leads to wild mood swings, as Jason finds out? Well, not when you call our friend Gina Della at Pella today. You can say goodbye to a drafty house with stunning new windows and doors that will keep all of that money and all of that cold or hot air, because you don't know in May what it's going to be. Got the air conditioning, you don't want that blowing out the windows. You got the heat on, you don't want that blowing out the windows. So right now you can order today and get 0% interest for 48 months. But hurry up! This offer is only good through May 31st. Certain restrictions do apply. Visit their beautiful showroom in Brookfield or go online at PellaWI.com today. Thank you again to Josh DiMaggio, Ashton Rotman, and Gabe Neitzel for stepping in while we were dealing with our technical issue. I'm very appreciative to all three of those guys. 800-990-3776 is the number today. 800-990-3776. What did Goody tell you about how confident this team is in Jordan Love? Maybe it didn't bother you at all as a Packers fan. It's just business. If that's how you feel, call too or text 800-990-3776. We'll get your feedback next. It's Wilde Tausch.
This is Wilde Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Wild Rock Golf in the Wisconsin Dells, a must-play every golf season. Wild Rock Golf features championship golf in the heart of Wisconsin. Wild Rock, a Herdston Fry masterpiece that's cut from the natural beauty of the Wisconsin Dells and offers stunning views from elevated tee boxes. Wild Rock presents spectacular greens that roll fast and true. Wild Rock Golf in the Wisconsin Dells, a unique gem that offers a challenge to avid golfers of all abilities. Book your tee time today for this must-play at wildrockgolf.com, wildrockgolf.com.
Are you dreaming of a new look? Let the pros at 5 Star Painting bring color to your world, to your interior, exterior, cabinets, and more. We make it easy with online scheduling, free on-site estimates, and a dedicated project manager on every job. Uneasy about hiring a contractor? We know, we've been there. 5 Star Painting is customer-focused and quality-driven, exceeding expectations every time. Call or visit 5starpainting.com today. 5 Star Painting, a neighborly company.
Let's face it, we put our moms through a lot. I know I did. There's no way you should let Mother's Day slip by this year. Thank your mom or your wife with farm fresh flowers from Bouqs. That's short for bouquets. I got you guys 20% off, so you can thank your moms too. My mom was my best friend. She's not here anymore, but I made sure every single Mother's Day to send her great flowers. You can give your mom regular Mom's Day flowers or make her day spectacular with flowers from Bouqs. Here's what I love about them. Bouqs is different. Their flowers are sourced directly from the best farms and cut fresh, so they last way longer. Mother's Day is May 14th, and don't let it sneak by. Order your Bouqs now, and while you're there, check out their flower subscription so Mom feels your love all year long. Go to Bouqs.com and use promo code KEY for 20% off. That's BOUQS.com, promo code KEY.
If you're looking to purchase, finance, or service a new or pre-owned Honda, buy local. Shop Zimbrick Honda. Their customer service is second to none, and you can experience it for yourself at 2 convenient Madison service locations on Fish Hatchery Road and Grand Canyon Drive. Oil changes, brakes, alignments, and warranties. Honda's certified technicians handle it all. And if you need new tires, buy 3 and get the 4th for just $1 when they mount and balance them for you. Zimbrick Honda Service Center on Fish Hatchery Road and Grand Canyon Drive. Part of the Madison community since 1973. Shop Zimbrick Honda.
You'll notice that some jewelry stores in the area are giving big, deep down discounts, as much as 60%. But you know what they're doing, don't you? They're just marking it up to mark it down. That's why for over 30 years, Chalmers Jewelers has offered you truth in pricing. You will always find great value on unique custom jewelry at Chalmers Jewelers. Truth in pricing is what it's always been.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
And Madison.
Since J&K Security Solutions opened in 1987, our attention to detail and customer service have been our strongest assets. I'm President Jeffrey Beckman. We'll always do our best to find the most efficient and cost-effective solution to every job we tackle. Whether it's security for your home or business, installing video surveillance, or being able to control your garage doors from your phone, we can help you feel empowered with simple and user-friendly technology. Let's work together to secure your home or business. jksecurity.com.
Get on board.
The water is open. It's time to go boating and fishing and leave stress in our wake. Feel the wind as we ride and a fish on the line. Reel in our first catch and feel the sun at our backs. It's get out on the water season. It's time to get on board. Find out where to get on board near you. Visit Take Me Fishing and Discover Boating to learn more. And please recreate responsibly.
Get on board. Get on board.
Deja vu. Green Bay has traded with New York.
Aaron Rodgers is going to the New York Jets. It's official. It is happening, finally, after all this time.
This is 100.5 ESPN.
We're kind of still working through that. We've been so focused on the draft. We've had some preliminary conversations, but we'll get to that before Tuesday.
What would be the reason not to?
It's a lot of money for a guy who hasn't played, but at the same time, obviously, we're moving forward with him, so we'll figure that out by Tuesday.
That is Brian Gutekunst responding.
No, we're moving forward with him. We're gonna move
Yeah,
forward.
we're very excited about it. Am I overreacting? I don't want people accusing me of overreacting. Am I overreacting?
No, you're
to
not
this?
overreacting. Jason, I was busy most of the weekend. I kept up and obviously watched or saw the draft recap, and I didn't see any of this. And then I don't know who tweeted it out, if it was Demo or if it was you. And I was shocked because I kind of thought, all right, as this offseason was unfolding, you knew they were going to trade Aaron Rodgers. And you knew that Jordan Love was getting this year and probably next year to be the starting quarterback for the Green Bay Packers. If they don't pick up that option, I think you're seeing signs of what the Green Bay Packers think they have with this guy. If you really believe that he is going to be not a finished product, not an all-pro in his first year, but if you think he's got all the skill sets and that he is learning the system and he can execute what your coaches are asking him to, and you've already went through all of this and you're not willing to put up $20 million in guaranteed money for him for another season, I think that tells you what they really think. So I think it's a big deal. Now, again, if he goes out and plays dynamite football, you can franchise tag him. That's going to cost you $40 million.
That was what Domofsky said. He said that's going to cost you even more.
Yeah, so I think there's always, and you always see this with when you see a young core player, Elton Jenkins comes to mind, you're proactively going. And obviously Elton Jenkins played 3 seasons before, and you knew what you were getting. You were getting a stud. And that's one of your core players. In this case, you still have a lot of uncertainty, but that's what the draft, that's what this whole league is you better be right on your projections. And this is the case. This is not a monster investment if it fails. So I'll be shocked if they don't pull the trigger and get the $20 million and keep him under contract for 2 years, and then you could see all of the other options. At least that gives you all kinds of options. If this doesn't, yeah, you can sign him and bring him back, and maybe he's understanding of it and can move forward. But this does – don't make no mistake about it. This tells you a lot about how the Green Bay Packers feel about Jordan Love, depending what they do in the next day and a half.
All right, so you don't think that the damage is – that is there a small amount of damage by this or no damage if they just give him the fifth-year option tomorrow? Is there no damage?
Is there what's the damage? $20 million coming off your cap.
No.
Next
The
year.
damage of having shown public reluctance to do it and to have said the words. That's a lot of money to give someone who hasn't played. Is there any damage by saying that?
Obviously, they have these conversations with Jordan and his representatives before. They're working through their process. But I think it's actually be a good thing because Jordan Love is as a starting quarterback is going to be competitive. He's probably looking at this and saying, okay, I'll show y'all. And I don't think that's a bad thing. But, no, it's not like it's going to cause irreparable harm.
So his game plan
definitely
is
lets you know,
piss off quarterbacks as best you can. That is apparently the Goody approach.
Well, you want to keep your players having an edge. You don't want them getting fat and happy. Jordan Love could never be fat and happy at this point because he hasn't proven anything in this league yet. And I think that's what Goody's trying to say. All Goody had to say was, we're working through that process. We'll have an answer for you by Tuesday. It was
a great question by Bill.
About it. Great question by Hubes. Absolutely.
We'll get to your calls. Yeah. We'll get to your calls next. 800-990-3776. 800-990-3776. 800-990-3776. We'll get to your calls if you're on hold there. Tausch, do I dare ask how your prize picks went this weekend?
No, I lost my flex.
You've been on
Friday,
kind of a rough
yesterday.
run here.
Not a great start. No, it's been not a great start to the NBA playoffs, but I'm having a ton of fun. And it's on Prize Picks, Daily Fantasy Sports Made Easy. I had a freebie square yesterday. Steph Curry, 0.5 points. He goes for 50. He throws a 50 burger at it.
Yeah.
But I've been on Malik Monk. I have been all over Malik Monk. He's been good to me. And yesterday he wasn't. And the fact that Golden State blew him out didn't help my cause. But I made my pick. I had my entry, and I didn't win. But you can. I wasn't competing against anybody. I'm just mad at Malik Monk and Mike Brown for not giving him enough minutes. With Prize Picks offers projections on every sport. I should have won LIV golf yesterday. That's on me. Entries can be made in 60 seconds or less. Download the Prize Picks app or go to prizepicks.com to sign up. And first-time users, you use the promo code WI. You put 100 in. Prize Picks gives you 100. So you got 200 to play with. Go to prizepicks.com to get started today.
Josh, he's lining up the calls. 800-990-3776. We'll get to him next. It's Wilde Tausch.
This is Wilde Tausch, driven by Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie on 100.5 ESPN. See their full inventory at ZimbrickChevrolet.com.
Mark Tauscher here for Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie, the name you can trust. There's nothing like a great summer road trip. If you're like me, I'm sure you're always ready to hit the road when the weather is warm and up for a new adventure. But the absolute last thing you want to have happen during a summer road trip doesn't have to do with a campfire or a travel reservation. It's car trouble. Make sure your vehicle is ready to take on every potential challenge thanks to the fantastic service team at Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie. Get a tune-up, check the battery, check your tires, change the oil. I just went in and did all of that. Makes you feel so much more confident about your car anytime you're getting out on the road. Make sure all the inner workings of your vehicle are in tip-top shape so you can focus on fun and not finding maintenance help during your summer road trip this year. Call Zimbrick Chevrolet to schedule an appointment with their incredible service team on Main Street in Sun Prairie, or check out their services and schedule an appointment online at ZimbrickChevrolet.com. Zimbrick Chevrolet, the name you can trust.
Life's better with an auto policy from American Family Insurance. No matter what dreams you're driving towards. That's because our expert agents will make you feel totally protected with the right auto coverage at the right price. You'll also save up to 23% when you bundle auto with home. American Family Insurance. Get a quote, find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Hey, it's Stacy Bruner from Bruner Realty. People have been telling me that buying a home is nothing to joke about. So instead of telling you another real estate joke, I'm going to have somebody else do it.
Jesse Nelson here. What do you call a detective who's also a real estate agent? Sherlock Holmes.
Come on, Jesse, this is no laughing matter.
Well, when it's time to get serious about buying or selling, that's when people should do what we did and work with you.
Contact us at BrunerRealtyInc.com. Bruner Realty, homes to appreciate.
2023 is a very special year for Goodman's Jewelers. We're celebrating 90 years of serving the greater Madison area. John Hayes for Goodman's Jewelers. Needless to say, that's a long time and a lot of great memories working with you, our customers. During these 9 decades, we've never deviated from our pledge to you, which is earning your trust, delivering top-notch service, and a selection that's second to none. Discover firsthand why Goodman's Jewelers is truly a destination worth reaching. 220 State Street, Goodman'sJewelers.com.
The best is at Goodman's.
Life has its moments, times to remember and share. Make the most of those special occasions by visiting Goodman's Jewelers at 220 State Street. John Hayes from Goodman's Jewelers. We're here to help you make that perfect selection for your memorable moment. When you think of diamonds, you hear about color, cut, clarity, and carat weight. We can help you understand that. But we're equally concerned with earning your trust with the quality of our selection and our service. Goodman'sJewelers.com, in the heart of downtown Madison. Truly a destination worth reaching.
Looking to make an impact in your community? Consider applying to become a mentor with Big Brothers Big Sisters of Dane County. Big Brothers Big Sisters of Dane County currently serves nearly 500 children and has over 200 waiting to be matched with a mentor like you. No skills are required, just a desire to make a difference in the lives of children. Make a big impact. Volunteer today at bbbsmadison.org to complete your application. That's bbbsmadison.org. Big Brothers Big Sisters of Dane County. Together, we are defenders of potential.
Stoughton Health provides comprehensive and compassionate care to Stoughton community and the entire Madison area. From our sports rehab facilities in Oregon and Stoughton to our renowned ortho team with Dr. Ravel, Stoughton Health can help. Learn more at stoughtonhealth.com.
Hi, I'm Madison Money Guy, Christian Finfrock with Retirement Income Strategies. And what sets us apart is we're an independent, family-run office. We help clients like you understand the financial world and build a portfolio that's in your best interest. To learn more, go to madisonmoneyguy.com.
The end of an era. Aaron Rodgers has been traded.
Because Aaron Rodgers screwed over the Packers over the last few years, this is the most good he could do with it.
This is 100.5 ESPN and Wisconsin On Demand.
He definitely understands that he's the guy in charge. He's going to be the guy in the huddle, and he's got to be an extension of us. And we're excited for him. We've got a lot of confidence in him. I think he showed it in the limited action he did last year, and just the ability to step in there. And the moment was not too big for him.
That is Packers head coach Matt LaFleur on Saturday evening after the draft ended. He is the guy in the huddle. Maybe not next year, but this year for sure. 800-990-3776, 800-990-3776. I do want – is this a red flag for you as a fan, yes or no? If it's not, great. I'd love to hear it. If it is, I want to hear that too. 800-990-3776. Let's get to your calls. Let's start with Josh in Grafton. Josh, thanks for holding on, buddy. What do you think?
No problem. Thanks, guys. My biggest question would be I'd say a partial red flag, but I happened to hear the team president at one of the events he was talking at recently, and if they're talking about spending, at least he was saying, 50-some million on a new Jumbotron, if you're willing to spend that on stadium upgrades but not a quarterback, that would be the big question for me. So,
Josh, that is a question.
Though. Hey, gotta have a nice
I don't know. I haven't seen the new one. Have you seen the new one? You saw the new one?
I saw the. No, I haven't. Is it beautiful?
I haven't seen it either. There's a lot of construction going on. Josh brings up something that is interesting, though, because I do think that there is a portion of the fan base, and I'm not saying Josh is part of it, but there is a portion that thinks that all Mark Murphy cares about is printing money and Titletown and improvements in the stadium, and as long as they're making money, if they're not winning championships, that's okay with him. I am not saying that. I don't know how he views it. But that is a criticism that you hear a lot in the fan base. You do hear it.
Well, that's fine. You can hear things, but if you don't think that Mark Murphy's job is to make sure that the coffers are deep enough that they can pay players and that they can have world-class facilities so that they can win. His only goal, yes, business, selling, making sure the fan experience is great. All of that stuff is really important to him, but for as much grief as we give Mark Murphy, especially you, Jason, there is not a doubt in my mind that he wants to win a world championship, and everything that he does is to put his team in a position to be able to. The Packer way has always been, and it is carried on, we want our players to not have any excuses about winning. Everything, if they need lights for a practice at night, we're going to give it to them. If food isn't good enough, we're going to go and get the best food. We're going to stay in the best hotels. We're going to have world-class travel. We're going to have a dietitian. Everything that that players need, the organization wants to make sure within reason, they're going to deliver that. And Mark Murphy's job is to make sure the finances are in order, and boy, has he crushed that. So that should not be viewed as a negative from Packer fans. And I think sometimes it is, because he's done a fantastic job with that. And the fact that they feel like sometimes, what I always get a kick out of is when Packer fans are always worried about, well, you're paying this for this guy, that money has got to get spent. You're either going to spend it on big old Jumbotrons, or you can say, all right, yeah, let's give Jordan Love $20 million, which is low end for a starting quarterback. I'll be shocked if they don't do it, and if they don't, heck yeah, I think there should be some real pause in saying, boy, I don't think these guys have a clue if he's any good. Because we all know, we hope that he's improved. But if you can't commit $20 million
for 1 year and that's it, you can still say arrivederci,
and you can get
if
out.
He's not good enough in 24.
You're not committing a 5-year deal to him. You're committing 1 more year.
And you've wiped all. What did Goody say about the Aaron Rodgers albatross? He was excited. He called it a good day for the Packers when they traded Aaron Rodgers to the Jets because it cleared $40.3 million, put it all on this year's cap. So they are scot-free of Aaron Charles Rodgers in the year that they'd be giving Jordan Love $20 million.
And you don't have – it's one thing if you had drafted Will Levis with the 29th pick. You traded back into the first round and because you loved him. Then you don't pick up this option. You did not do that. You are all in with Jordan Love, and that's great. I want to be all in with Jordan Love. That's fine. But then be all in with him. Don't say that you're moving forward and then, we'll see. $20 million is a lot of money. Goody knows better than that. There's hesitancy, which I understand why there's hesitancy.
I do too, but it's the cost of doing business.
No, you got to do it. You have to. If you don't, that is telling you that the organization is very concerned that they can't go that he's not going to be good enough to be your quarterback next year at a reduced rate. No, that's because it's one thing, again, we said with the whole Rodgers deal. If Aaron Rodgers was making $30 million next year instead of $60, he'd be the quarterback of the Green Bay Packers still. But he's not. And that's why he's not. And that's why Jordan is. And you could say, Jordan, $11.5 million for the next 2 years. Let's roll. And if it doesn't work, we'll draft a guy. We can develop him behind Jordan, or we could play Jordan next year and Jordan could be a backup, or we could trade him to the Colts
or we just
for
let
a
him
fifth-round pick. Whatever.
Right.
Yeah. You just walked out the door with Aaron Rodgers giving him $40-some million in dead cap space. The Jordan Love component of that could be a whole different deal, but it should be a little more troubling than I think Demo and Hubes maybe thought it was in your little presser room the other night.
Well, I think they both think it's not going to happen. So maybe the difference between them and me was that I was flabbergasted by the answer. I didn't see it coming. Maybe that makes me bad at my job. But I thought all along, like, it was a foregone conclusion in my mind because it gives you the ability to see what he does this year and next year, and then, poof, gone. It pushes out the decision on making him the next Daniel Jones for another year. Because they paid Daniel Jones because they didn't pick the fifth-year option up, and then they had he won a playoff game, so I guess we'll pay him. But I don't think they're that excited about him either. 800-990-3776.
Nad Gadzurich at Shucksy on Twitter replied, I just
Dan Gadzurich's brother?
I don't know. It could be. Could be working out a 4-year deal and don't want to leverage anything to Love's agent. No. This would be leveraging with Jordan Love's agent because you say, well, you know what? This 20 is already baked into the cake for next year. So that wouldn't make any sense, Nad Gadzurich.
Yeah, I don't. Maybe there is. I am fully open to because I didn't see this coming. Okay, so I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I know what the hell they're doing because I don't know what the hell they're doing.
Jason, the moment Aaron Rodgers walked into the Jets stadium with those aviators on and signed his now the New York Jets quarterback, that fifth-year option card should have been sent in right behind it. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Obviously, I was wrong. Or maybe I'm wrong. There's still a good chance I'm going to be right. But if your sources are telling you he's not going to do it, that would be very, very surprising on my end.
Yeah, I have not been told they're not doing it. I just thought the public-facing response to that was very surprising and telling. And we'll see if it happens between now and tomorrow's deadline at 3 o'clock.
Is there any reason you wouldn't do it other than you think he's not going to be very good? Isn't that really what the answer is?
So even if you are extending him now, which I don't think they're doing that, Gadzurich guy.
Did you just listen to what he said? That's a lot of money, $20 million. What do you think $120 million is going to be?
I don't think they're doing that. I think they would love, pardon the pun, to have him play really well the first 7 games and do what they did while you were playing with Aaron Rodgers, which was extend him then, because they'll be able to do it at a lower rate than they would if he went through the entire season and was star-spangled awesome somehow. And now you're really talking big bucks. My point is $20 million, as Tausch likes to say, is popcorn money, and you don't have to pay that to him today. That is his 2024 salary. So what you can do is, hey, we're giving you this. This is just a placeholder. You play the way we think you're gonna, and we're gonna tear that up, and you're gonna get $40 million guaranteed, and we're gonna sign you through 2028 or whatever it might be. This really surprised me, and frankly, I don't think I'm the greatest at this job, but it doesn't happen very often where I'm legit surprised. And I was blown out of the water by that.
Jason, the only reason you don't pick up a fifth-year option on a player
is because you think he's not good enough.
You don't think he's going to be on your team, or you don't know for sure that he will be. So I don't know.
Right? I mean, they didn't pick up Nick Perry's, and then they signed him after that season. That ain't the same as a quarterback. It's not the same. And Nick Perry had played. 800-990-3776. We're going to push trivia back and play it a little bit later. We're going to take more of your calls, so if you're on hold, stay there. We will get to you, I promise. Next, it's Wilde Tausch.
This is Wilde Tausch, brought to you by Grassland Butter. Grassland Dairy is Wisconsin. Learn more at grasslandbutter.com. Rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Alex Strofe.
This Badger Minute brought to you by your Badgerland Chevy dealers, proud supporters of Badger Athletics. Go to BadgerlandChevy.com. The NFL Draft has come to a close, and 3 former Badgers have found their new homes. Center Joe Tippmann was drafted by the New York Jets in the 2nd round. Nose tackle Keanu Benton was drafted in the 2nd round to the Pittsburgh Steelers. And linebacker Nick Herbig was drafted to the Pittsburgh Steelers in the 4th round. Find the full draft results and other Badgers that were signed as undrafted free agents over at ESPNWisconsin.com.
Badger Minutes on ESPN Wisconsin are brought to you by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Schedule an appointment online today at PellaWI.com.
Your first night camping alone. The new tent, fully set up. Your bug spray, barely keeping up. But you got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with free overdraft protection transfers. So when you bought all those supplies and lost track of your spending, we had you covered. You got this with free overdraft protection transfers from Associated Bank. See AssociatedBank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
Every event tells a story, from the first impression to the final moments. Have someone guide your guests through every chapter the way you want the story told. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. With a strong presence, great voices, and an award-winning team, trust us to guide, direct, and inform your guests through all the different chapters of the day. For fun, memorable entertainment for any event, please visit us at celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
Get ready to reel in the big one with help from Fleet Farm. Come check out our huge selection of fishing gear, from rods and reels to lures and bait. Choose from over 10,000 lures and find Fleet Farm exclusive colors. Plus, going on now, save on Berkley 2 and 3-inch power grubs. Get 2 for $5. Get everything for your next fishing trip in one stop at Fleet Farm, your fishing headquarters.
Medicine Money Guy Christian Finfrock here. Struggling to understand retirement planning, life insurance policies, or managing your wealth? Listen to my show every Saturday at 7 a.m. on 100.5 ESPN, or call me right now at 208-1800 for a complimentary consultation.
Wisconsin is as hard-working of a place as you'll ever find. There's a sense of pride, community, and work ethic that's second to none. People here are tough, but even the toughest among us need help after a serious accident. At Gruber Law Offices, we won't stop fighting for you and your family. We've been here and will continue to be here for as long as you need us. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Every event tells a story, from the first impression to the final moments. Have someone guide your guests through every chapter the way you want the story told. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. With a strong presence, great voices, and an award-winning team, trust us to guide, direct, and inform your guests through all the different chapters of the day. For fun, memorable entertainment for any event, please visit us at celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
For official rules and more information about every contest on 100.5 ESPN, visit ESPNWisconsinContests.com. That's ESPNWisconsinContests.com. You're listening to 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN app.
Hey, this is Craig Karmazin, founder of Good Karma Brands. Join Kyle Wallace and me every Sunday morning from 10 to noon for Sunday Karma here on 100.5 ESPN and Wisconsin On Demand.
We're kind of still working through that. We've been so focused on the draft. We've had some preliminary conversations, but we'll get to that before Tuesday.
What would be the reason not to?
It's a lot of money for a guy who hasn't played, but at the same time, obviously, we're moving forward with him, so we'll figure that out by Tuesday.
We'll figure that out by Tuesday. That is Brian Gutekunst after the NFL draft ended. That's tomorrow.
Monday.
We'll see.
Yep.
800-990-3776. Let's get to more of your calls. Let's go to Lewis in Milwaukee first. Lewis, thanks for holding on so long. Is this a red flag for you as a Packers fan?
Oh, it's a red flag, but it's a red flag I already knew was there. I mean, it's sort of like, when you talk yourself into a divorce because you like the lady next door. And then you find out she's not as pretty as your wife. She just has a good personality. That's what Gutekunst is doing right here. He's like, he forced Aaron Rodgers out. He forced him out. He's looking at Jordan Love, and he's like, this kid isn't ready. I can't give him no money. Like what am I doing here? So to hedge his bets, he's going to say, I'm going to hold off on the money because I know this kid isn't really good. I'll just draft the quarterback next year and move on. And like you were saying earlier, he can do this because the ticket sales are, 50 years long. The waiting list is 50 years long. There's going to be a sellout for 8-9 games up there. They're going to tear up the fan shop. It's going to happen every year. It's the same thing. So, we always, Packer fans, each trade deadline, we go haywire because we didn't improve the team, right? It happens every year. Where's the free agents? Where's the trades? The Packers are content on getting to the playoffs, making a little money for Titletown, and then moving on. If they happen to win the championship, it's a plus. But it's not, we can say it's our goal every year, but we know it isn't. Get to the playoffs, make some money. Like you said, Mark Murphy's job, keep the coffers full. That's what he's doing.
I just want to be very clear about something, Lewis. When I say something that makes Tausch laugh, I feel like I've accomplished something. When you deliver an analogy that gets the seal of approval from the king of all analogies, Mark Tauscher, Lewis, you should enjoy the rest of your day, man, because you nailed it, and Tausch loved your analogy.
Well, it's what I
We
do.
appreciate you, buddy.
It's what I do.
Yes, that was great. Tausch, it's hard for me to view it, and I'm open to viewing it other ways, but I think Lewis's analogy is appropriate.
So I know we have a list of callers that are on hold. What I really want is for someone to say, what is the good explanation, other than you don't think he's any good, to not pay him this option? There is
What's
no
the
other
alternative reason?
I would love for an alternative reason. Because if you think that he's even average at quarterback, you're going to pay $20 million for an average quarterback as you're building, especially when you didn't do anything big in the draft this year. So for $11.5 million for 2 years is what you're paying. 2 years and on average.
Mm-hmm.
That is the steal of that is a fantastic deal for a good quarterback or an average quarterback. So what would be the reason that you'd give me outside of I don't think he's very good? if somebody can give me that answer, I am going to be okay. Maybe my mind can be changed, but I don't think there is another answer. I don't.
Let's keep going with the calls. Want to update you briefly on our poll question, though, just so you know that it's out in the field. The question is this. It has the quote from Goody. It's a lot of money for a guy who hasn't played, but at the same time, we're moving forward with him. As a Packers fan, does this concern you? No, 67%. Yes, 33%. So 1 in 3 people it concerns. 2 out of 3 people
why doesn't it
aren't
concern
worried about
you?
it.
Why?
Yeah, I don't know, but we're over 300 votes already, so it's a good poll.
Yeah, I don't know why. Why wouldn't it concern you? Because you just don't care about this season and you want to get a new quarterback? Because that's what that's saying.
800-990-3776. Especially if you're among the "this doesn't concern me," I want to hear your explanation. Again, I have been wrong about this. I completely assumed it was a done deal, foregone conclusion.
And it might still be. I think it should.
And it might be, but then I don't know. I don't know why you wouldn't say that then. Of course we're going to pick it up. I swear to God that was the answer I was expecting he was going to say.
That's a fair point too. Yeah. Yeah.
Of course, Rob, we're going to pick it up. Why wouldn't we?
Yeah, it's not like you're
He's our guy.
info so that you could draft an offensive tackle in the second round. Oh, I don't know about that guy. He's on your team. You hold the cards to keeping him on your team for another year, and you're being coy? Yeah, I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get it. Educate me. Somebody.
Let's get to another call, and then we'll get to more on the other side. 800-990-3776 is the number today. 800-990-3776. Let's talk to Mike in Texas. Mike, good morning, buddy. How are you?
Good morning. Great.
Thanks for holding on. What do you make of this? What do you make of this?
Well, I posted it on the Packer page, and I said, not exactly a ringing endorsement, weird. And some people were like, oh, you're just blowing out of proportion. You're just, overreacting. It's just a weird statement. I expected him to say, yeah, of course. And so I wonder if this is just Goody, if this is why people don't like Goody or don't get along with him, because he's just saying what he feels. He was just talking out loud. And maybe what is Love thinking? I mean, clearly it's not, we have to think about it. And rather than keeping it quiet, he just says it out loud. And this is what he's thinking. This is what he honestly believes. He really doesn't know. He's really not sure.
So I guess my question in response to that, Mike, is it's May 1st. You made the decision to move on from Rodgers if you trust Bob McGinn and Tyler Dunn and Tom Silverstein, which I think that they clearly were right in this instance, that Goody was going around complaining about Rodgers and talking about how much he couldn't wait to get rid of him to colleagues of his around the league. So you basically made up your mind during last season that you no longer wanted Rodgers. Then if that's how you've been feeling this song, how are you still, if he's just thinking it through still, how are you still not decided yet is my question. How do you still not know? I can't believe that he wouldn't know. I can't believe that.
No, if you know, you're saying yes, we're doing it. If you don't know, you're trying to figure out, well, what are my other options? Your other options are you could just wait, and you know what? Maybe that would be, maybe the best thing is he's really good, and then this will force us into paying him, and we'll be able to get him on a lesser deal. But with that, you're still getting the $20 million is way below what any market value is.
Not much.
That's why that doesn't
money.
hold the test. Yeah.
All right. We'll get some more of your calls and your texts, so get lined up. 800-990-3776, 800-990-3776. We'll kick off the 10 o'clock hour, only a little bit late for once, in 2 minutes. Stick around. It's Wilde Tausch.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin, the ESPN app, and Wisconsin On Demand.
Since 1956, Holman Lindsay Paints has been making paint in Wisconsin for Wisconsin. Because of their commitment to making great paint for Wisconsinites, Hallman Lindsay has grown over the years to 26 locations in this great state. Headquarters in Sun Prairie with a state-of-the-art facility, Hallman Lindsay has the paint you need to make your job better. From do-it-yourself to professional, Hallman Lindsay has paint for everyone. Visit one of their local locations today in Madison, Sun Prairie, Middleton, and Janesville.
Hi, this is Dennis Summerall. Join us every week for Zimbrick Honda's Prep Mania on Good Karma Brands radio station. 100.5 ESPN, WTLX, Monona, Madison.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN Madison studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
What is up, Madison? I'm Hunter Vaughn. Your Sports Center update is brought to you by Goodman's Jewelers, the diamond store of Madison for generations. Check them out at 220 State Street and online at goodmansjewelers.com. While the Packers 2023 draft headlines focused on the selection of defensive end Lucas Van Ness from Iowa at pick number 13, Green Bay did follow that up by taking tight end Luke Musgrove out of Oregon State in the second round, and then 8 picks later taking wide receiver from Michigan State Jaden Reed to help out quarterback Jordan Love. You can get all of your draft analysis and draft grades over at ESPNWisconsin.com. In Major League Baseball, the Milwaukee Brewers couldn't get the sweep of the Angels yesterday as they fell 3-0. Milwaukee is off today, but they'll be back at it tomorrow as they start a road trip at Colorado for 3 games, and they'll follow that up with 3 games in San Francisco against the Giants. Hour 2 of Wilde Tausch starts right now.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or visit metrokiaofmadison.com.
The 10 o'clock hour of Wilde Tausch begins now. And it begins with more of your calls. 800-990-3776, 800-990-3776. I'm also thinking about what you're thinking if you're Jordan Love. Obviously, they have been communicating throughout. Right? I mean, he said they've had constant communication. So, Tausch, as the former player on this show, you tell me what you would think if you were Jordan Love.
Yeah, I don't think that's as big a deal as you think it is. Because Jordan Love, obviously you want people in your corner. You know what? Goody's in your corner. He just traded a 4-time MVP out of the building to give you your opportunity. Jordan Love shouldn't be thinking, it's ridiculous I didn't get my $20 million. If Jordan Love is really what we want him to be, Jordan Love is thinking, thank you. You're going to end up paying me $60 million instead of $20. That's what Jordan Love should be thinking.
Right.
So,
good answer.
All of this, it's more about the locker room and thinking, well, we don't know. But that's all moot. Jordan Love is looking at this and saying, okay, thank you, Goody, for giving me this opportunity. Thank you, LaFleur, Russ Ball. I am going to make you guys pay me 3x what you could have. And you know what? You're going to be happy to do it because I'm going to ball out. That's why it makes no sense to me from the Packers side of it. But for Jordan's side of it, this doesn't bother me a bit. Good. It's not like he hasn't made any money. He's made money on his rookie deal. He's got a couple million stashed away. So that's the part of this that I don't fully comprehend unless you just don't think he's very good. Or you have the uncertainty. Jordan Love, I would bet he doesn't have the uncertainty. He thinks he's going to be great. And I hope he is. And I hope that the Packers, if they don't pick up this 5th-year option, look at it and say, well, all right, what did Lamar Jackson just get? Well, there's our starting point. That's what Jordan Love's reps are going to be doing. And will they get that? Who knows? But if he has a great year he's going to get broke off, and you don't have that $20 million buffer year to do it. So
Right,
Goody
that's
maybe
the thing.
Goody is maybe hoping that he's really good and that they can get him to a lesser deal. If you're going to do that, you give him this option all day and every day. The only reason you don't is if you think $20 million's a lot. That's why that statement is so troublesome to me. That means you don't think he's worth it, because $20 million is about a third, a little less than a third, a little more than a third. I think Lamar Jackson got $53 or $54 million per season, and you're telling me $20 million for your guy is going to be too much? That statement alone is pretty telling if you really delve into it. But Jordan Love, just Jason, so you know, Jordan Love should be looking at this and say, fantastic. Y'all just went from giving me 20. Now I'm going to probably be getting about $1.60 in guarantees. Thank you for your service, Brian Gutekunst.
But you're right about the buffer year, and I think that's another important point to make. It gives you either the placeholder to sign him to a lucrative extension and pushes the decision out a little farther, but also if you're still not quite sure by the end of this season, it gives him the opportunity that a year from now, when, remember, they're talking about all these young pass catchers growing together with Jordan Love. So there's going to be growing pains this year still, even with the guys that played last year. And with the quarterback who's been on your roster for 3 years and has started one game. So, in theory, by 2024, that's when things should be starting to come together. That's when they should all be looking good, right? The draft class from this year has a year of experience already. The guys that are in last year's class have 2 years of experience. And now Jordan Love's in his second year as a starter. He's going to look good, and you're paying him $20 million to do it, in theory. And it gives you time before you have to pay him the bonko dollars that all these other quarterbacks get. Let's get to some more of your calls. 800-990-3776. Let's go to Brandon in Tulsa. Brandon, good morning. Welcome to Wilde Tausch, buddy. How are you?
Hey, good morning, guys. Man, a lot of thoughts on this. That caller in Milwaukee said that it was a red flag that he knew was there. I agree. You know, I remember when Goody traded up to draft Jordan Love in 2020. And you and Tausch and everybody came to the conclusion that he just had no idea what that move would do to the psyche of locker room as a whole and Aaron Rodgers as a whole. And everybody said, well, he's a new GM, so I guess he's just new at the job, and he hasn't quite figured out that what he does and says has a huge role in how his team feels and performs. And that's any leadership job. How you treat your people affects their performance. Well, 3.5 years later, he clearly hasn't learned. Does he not understand that telling Jordan, well, I believe in you enough to trade away a 4-time MVP, but I don't believe in you enough to pay you $23 million? At best, that's mixed signals. But Tausch is right. There's no good reason for it other than Goody thinks he's still not the guy, and I'm just keeping my options open. You know, I always wondered how you could take a guy like Brett Favre and a guy like Aaron Rodgers, two completely different personalities, and you have pissed them off both in the exact same way. Well, now I know. I mean, I don't think Brian Gutekunst is a bad scout. When it comes to the general manager position of managing people, I don't think he's very good. Either doesn't care what he says or doesn't know how to speak to people. There's no way Jordan looks at this as anything other than, look, I see why Aaron was pissed. There's no buy-in yet. Still, 4 years here, and you still don't think I'm worthy of even a conversation of saying, yeah, of course we'll give him an extension because we're looking at how we can move forward with this guy. It's a huge red flag, and I really don't understand what Goody's trying to accomplish here. I think he had a great draft, but again, none of that matters if Jordan isn't any good. And this kind of tells me that Goody still doesn't believe in the guy. I mean, I don't know how this doesn't affect the locker room. How does he get buy-in from the other players moving in? It's like, we still don't have a quarterback, Goody? Really? You want us to practice this guy and go ahead.
Well, if they give him the fifth-year option tomorrow, then this is a moot point, I guess. I personally would say that it still leaves some residual effect that he went about it this way, but maybe that's just me being dramatic. If he
That's
gets the
Jermaine.
Thank you. But again, it goes to Tausch's question. Brandon, thanks for the call, and Brandon agrees with you. I'm still looking for what other plausible reasons there are. I've got a few people on Twitter saying, well, maybe they're working on an extension. Yeah, this fifth-year option is not for this year, though. It's for next year, and your extension can cover that and include the money that you were guaranteeing. It's not like that has to be – it's not a separate entity. A contract extension can replace the fifth-year option. So you don't. That's not a deterrent, at least in my mind, from an extension. They're not related.
It actually will help because it kind of gives the Packers some runway at a lesser value that Jordan Love has to put into it. But all of that, I think somebody just tweeted something basically saying, well, this is all going to be a moot point when they. Yeah, it will be, but it's just fascinating to me that you went through this dialogue to do it, to get to that point. And if they don't do it, it's because they're very, very uncertain. There's always a bit of uncertainty. If you don't do this, that means you're very, very uncertain and you don't know what you have at this point with Jordan Love. That's what that tells you.
So a couple of the tweets that I've gotten, and we'll get back to your calls here in a second. Jim in Austin. Question one was, are they picking up the fifth-year option? Gutekunst responded the way I would have expected an executive to. Question two, his response is clearly hypothetical to the question asked. Well, here's the problem with that. When he doesn't like a hypothetical question, he says, that's a hypothetical. He doesn't answer hypothetical questions. That's not him answering hypothetically. That's him talking about why they wouldn't do it with Jordan Love. So, again, I don't understand the answer beyond we're not sure if he can play or not. We may still give him the fifth-year option, but we're not sure about it. I don't know how you don't take it any other way. Which, again, they could give it to him tomorrow, and all this will have been a fun radio topic to discuss. But I don't know how he says that, and you don't, as a Packers fan, go, whoa, wait a minute.
But it gives you insight into where their head's at because,
right,
like you mentioned, and again, these quarterbacks have played more, the Herberts, the Burrows, and it's such a no-brainer. Nobody expects this to be a no-brainer. But for this, with how it played out and the fact you didn't draft anybody, you're not bringing in anybody, it's Jordan's show, you have to believe that it's going to be Jordan's show moving forward, or what are you doing? What are you doing?
And again, for those guys, I understand the differences. They've played and played at a high level. But both those teams don't plan on them playing on the fifth-year option either. They both plan on signing to big-time extensions. And if Jordan Love's as good as you thought he was when you drafted him and the way you've talked about him, then it should be just a placeholder for him too. It should never be what he plays on. But if it is what he plays on, it's still not that expensive. And it pushes the decision out because if he plays well this year and you have to pay him, you may pay him more than the guarantee of the $20 million in 2024. And then he may bottom out. You don't know how he'll play. It could go the other way. I don't understand it. I am open to having it explained to me. Let's keep going with the calls. Let's go to Christian in Madison. Christian, good morning. What do you think of this?
I don't think I'm on.
No, you are. Hi.
Okay.
Big time.
Yeah, I'm not concerned. I'm not concerned at all, okay? This is like leasing a car with an option to buy. You don't go to the dealer and talk up the car, you talk it down. So if an extension's coming, he's just working out in public what he's doing behind the scenes. Right? You guys, I remember them yelling at Murphy because he weakened his leverage by sharing too much information. And now you're yelling at Gutekunst for not weakening his position. I don't understand why there's so much drama about it.
Hey, quick question for you. Quick question. Fair point on Murphy. Why would you not pick up the fifth-year option if you're the Packers. It's below market value. You're basically leasing the car and buying it at a much less price. So why would you not pick it up?
He didn't say he wasn't going to pick it up. Okay, he's just in a bargaining mode right now. I mean, you guys are jumping to this conclusion. You don't know what.
Who are you bargaining with?
If you want to yell,
who are you bargaining with?
If you want to, well, he's making a public proclamation right now. You guys are sitting there complaining about it. You're talking about, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Now everyone's talking about this. He's actually in with Jordan Love's agent, and he's the one that he's dealing with. That he answered a question, and now you guys are upset that he answered the question.
No, I guess I'm asking you, Christian, if he's negotiating an extension with Jordan Love's agent, then what does it matter if you pick up the fifth-year option or not, because you're extending him beyond the fifth year? There's I don't understand what you mean by the negotiation of talking down the car.
Do you want him to come out? Do you want him to come out and guarantee what he's already going to give the guy before the negotiation's done? Or do you want him to say no comments so you guys can think something more nefarious is going on?
No, I don't. First of all, Christian, I don't want him to say anything. I went into this assuming that the answer would simply be, of course we're going to give him the fifth-year option. He's our guy. We're committed to him. And we'd like him to be here well beyond the fifth-year option. And we're going to work on an extension, just like we did with Aaron Rodgers when Aaron Rodgers played well in his first 7 games, and Ted signed him to an extension. I was surprised by the answer. I'm not making drama out of nothing here, Christian. You seem to think that this is some sort of bargaining position. If he's signing him to an extension anyway, I don't understand what the fifth-year option has to do with the cost of Pickles and Park Slope.
It's a tool that the Players Association hates, and that the owners and the management want. So if this is a pro-management thing. That's why I don't get it. It's nothing about all the other stuff. Your point on the buying a car and all this other stuff. This is for the operation, and if he doesn't do it, it would and should make you think, why wouldn't he do it? You're getting something cost certain at a below market rate. That's why we're confused, Christian.
Deal's not done yet.
All right.
800-990-3776.
But I thought it was very telling that he said that Saturday, and he didn't just say every other quarterback that people think is good. They've said, yeah, we're doing it, because $20 million is a lot less than 50. So I understand there's uncertainty, but there's no reason other than to think that you don't believe fully in what your quarterback is to say that. And you have every right to not believe it because you haven't seen it yet. But I don't know what you're doing. If you're going to pick it up, why you would say it. And if you're not going to, there should be questions about why you're not. That's what we're asking. That's it.
800-990-3776. Let's get to another call before the break, and then we'll get to even more of them a little bit after that. Let's go to Otto in Palatine, Illinois. Otto, good morning, buddy. How are you today?
I'm great. Good morning. If you can indulge me a little bit, Jason and Tausch, but I think
that's what we do here.
I think what happened. Are you there?
Yeah, we're here.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought we were going to talk about the draft today. I thought there'd be some positives. I think the story about Love is really going to happen tomorrow at 3:00. But you guys are surprised about what Goody said, but has his history been that he's been very savvy marketing wise and savvy in front of the media? I don't see it. Everything that he's done has been very reactionary. And, if you think about way back when he, drafted Love, he had no idea that Aaron Rodgers would be pissed off. He might have been the only one
that true.
Didn't realize that. Mm-hmm. And then when we decided that we needed Aaron Rodgers back, they got very reactionary and threw all kinds of money at him. And so, I think we're giving him a little too much credit. He seems to be a touch tone deaf. And that's not to say he's a terrible GM, but, if he doesn't pick up that option tomorrow, his job is on the line. That means he messed up big time. So that's my thoughts.
No, that's Otto. Again, I'm not, and I'll be honest with you. I was thinking about this show, and thank you for the call. I was thinking about this show as Saturday was unfolding because I had tweeted what a great 2 days I thought Goody had had. Again, you don't know if the players are going to pan out or not, but he had checked off all the boxes. They needed an edge rusher. They needed tight ends. They needed another receiver. Then he starts out day 3. He's getting defensive linemen. He's getting everything they need except the safety and maybe an extra offensive lineman, right? And I'm all ready to be, wow, what a great draft. What a great draft Goody had. We'll see if the players pan out, but if you're grading him filling the holes that needed to be filled in the roster and doing it in a smart way and trading back and getting more picks and everything else, I was all ready to praise him. And had I started the show without technical issues, this was the same thing that I was going to ask that Gabe asked. Because when he said that, I was like, holy cow, I can't believe he said that. And I'm sorry that Christian and Madison doesn't see why that would surprise me, but I thought this was a no-brainer. I had talked to people in the league who were like, of course they're going to pick up the fifth-year option months ago. They're trading away a Hall of Famer. They clearly believe in the kid. And maybe they still will tomorrow, but when you say something like that, it makes people wonder what you're thinking.
Yeah, what is, and to Christian's point, because listen, Christian's call was a little contentious, and I like that. I like when you shoot
you
back.
You don't get enough contentiousness, yeah.
I'm all on board. But the negotiating back on it and all of that, the Packers control that. That would be a chip they use. Not that they'd hide and try to, downplay. That's a chip that you would use. So none of that makes any sense. This is about uncertainty and about not – if he ends up using the fifth-year option, which I still believe they will, but if they don't and you don't think there should be a ton of questions about it, of course there will be. And there should be. And if he uses the fifth-year option, why did you say that Saturday? I guess those are the points I'm making. I want to understand. And nobody has given me, including Christian, his car buying and leasing back and all that. None of that makes any sense. Because this is all pro-management. It's all pro-Green Bay Packer if they want to utilize it. That's all.
All right, we'll get to more of your calls. 800-990-3776, 800-990-3776. I know the Packers don't pay with checks anymore, but when they started paying with checks way back at the very beginning of the Packers' existence, they were Associated Bank checks. Associated Bank has been with the Packers since the very beginning, and they would like to send a $20.3 million check to Jordan Love. You would think that was what was going to happen. Now we're not so sure. Maybe it just happens tomorrow and everybody's happy. I get it. But everyone is happy when you go to Associated Bank. They've got the best customer service in the industry. They've got the awards to prove it. And whether it's Badgers checking, Brewers checking, or Packers checking, they've got all kinds of great options for you as a Wisconsin sports fan. So go to AssociatedBank.com to find out more. More of your calls straight ahead. Stick around. It's Wilde Tausch.
This is Wilde Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Jesse Nelson here to tell you about Stacy Bruner, the realtor that my wife Becca and I trusted with our home buying process last year. And Bruner Realty, they are an incredible group. Stacy is an incredible person to work with. He met with Becca and I up front and got to know us so that he was sending us listings that he knew directly pertained to what we were looking for in our home. He wasn't wasting any of our time combing through a bunch of emails that didn't even make sense for what we were looking for. Then, after that, he came to every showing, every open house with us, talked about the different homes that we were looking at, took the time and really invested in what we were saying about each of the homes, and then taught us things along the way that we didn't know answers to. When he was knocking on doors and on walls in the basement, we were like, what are you doing? He was explaining what he was looking for so that we knew when we found the home of our dreams, we could check all those things up front and feel confident that we could get across the finish line. That's what we did, and Stacy was there the day that we signed the papers and moved into that brand new home. He truly cared about us, and he will truly care about you if it's your year of the house. Contact the team at BrunerRealtyInc.com. That's BrunerRealtyInc.com. Bruner Realty, homes to appreciate.
Jeff Levering and wife Ashley love their new patio door from Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
It's like having a brand new kitchen. It's so bright, it's so clear. I can see the kids outside playing.
I love the roll screen. The fact that the screen is on the inside, no drafts. It's a game changer.
Get 0% interest for up to 48 months at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and have everything installed in as little as a day. Visit PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. Offer ends 5/31/2023.
Are you excited to enjoy the great outdoors this summer without pesky mosquitoes buzzing by your head? Well, Mosquito Joe of Madison is here to get rid of those annoying mosquitoes, ticks, and fleas so you can enjoy your backyard in peace. Mosquito Joe also offers rodent and perimeter pest control to keep the creepy crawlers out of your house. Head over to madison.mosquitojoe.com to request a quote. Don't wait. Trust Mosquito Joe to get rid of the annoying buzz and make your summer bite-free.
Life's more rewarding at Blaine's Farm and Fleet, especially when it comes to lawn care. Right now, get unbeatable deals on a huge selection of lawn tractors, mowers, and more. Like $30 off a 22-inch yard force push mower. Rewards members save an extra $20. Get $10 off 40-pound bags of Estate Sun to Shade grass seed mix. And assorted Technor Apex 0G water hoses start at $34.99.
Ben Brust here to tell you about the Princeton Club. I joined the Princeton Club because I was looking for a place I could invest in my health, and the environment and the community I have felt has made it so easy for me to incorporate it into my everyday life. It doesn't matter where you're at in your fitness journey because they have something to offer everyone. It also goes beyond fitness. From the moment you walk in the club to the moment you walk out, there is a togetherness felt throughout the members and staff that keeps you going for your better tomorrow. Don't wait any longer and get started on your fitness journey today at PrincetonClub.net. That's PrincetonClub.net.
Hear that? That's the sound of the 2023 Chevy Silverado's turbo high-output engine, delivering impressive power with no compromised durability. Whether you're helping friends move or just moving some friends, this is the sound of a family with plenty of rear seat room to enjoy the ride. And this is the sound of you heading to your local Chevy dealer today. Find your Silverado and find new roads. Chevrolet. See your Badgerland Chevy dealer today.
Jim Rutledge here to tell you about North and South Seafood and Smokehouse. North and South serves authentic wood-fired barbecue as well as savory seafood for both lunch and dinner. Whether it's North and South in DeForest, Verona, or the west side of Madison, you'll enjoy the best smart casual dining experience in the area. They also have takeout and catering options, so find your way over to North and South Seafood and Smokehouse, the official barbecue place of Rutledge and Hamilton. They're online at eatnorthandsouth.com.
On the air, on demand, on social, on Wisconsin Sports. Serving Wisconsin sports fans. This is 100.5 ESPN.
You guys are jumping to this conclusion. You don't know what.
Who are you bargaining with?
If you want to yell
Who
at.
are you bargaining with?
If you want to well, he's making a public proclamation right now. You guys are sitting there complaining about it. You're talking about, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Now everyone's talking about this. He's actually in with Jordan Love's agent, and he's the one that he's dealing with. That he answered a question, and now you guys are upset that he answered the question.
That is Christian and Madison who called earlier.
I'm not upset. I don't know if you're upset. I'm not upset.
I'm not upset that he answered the question. I'm fascinated by his answer.
Yes.
Also, I got. Look again. I'm so tired of people saying you hate Goody. You hate Goody. I explained already once what my plan was for today's program. Already on Saturday. I have all kinds of praise for the draft class. I have doubts about Sean Clifford, and I have doubts about Anders Carlson. They picked a kid who was delivering groceries to people's cars at Walmart to make ends meet during the COVID season to keep his football dream alive. Believe me,
story. Why do you not like that?
I would rather be talking about Grant DuBose than the fifth-year option. I am not ripping Goody. I'm trying to understand Goody. That's all I'm doing here. And I thought that the answer was going to be, I'll be honest, I didn't ask either of those questions. And I thought the answer to no doubt, I'm glad somebody did, because I wasn't going to, because I figured Of course they're picking up the fifth-year option. He's got this year and next year to show him if he's any good. And if midway through the 2024 season they decide that Jordan Love is good and they've seen enough and they extend him and pay him something that's less than what Joe Burrow and Lamar Jackson and Justin Herbert get because he hasn't done it to their level yet, they're going to be pleased as punch because they're going to have their franchise quarterback at a lower than the market rate for other franchise quarterbacks because he sat for 3 years and they don't have enough evidence to show how good he is, and he can't ask for even more. So they get an extension done midway through 24, and everyone's happy. Maybe that's still what happens. But I don't know how you can be pissed at us for being surprised that his answer was what it was. I appreciate honesty.
Nefarious. I don't understand the nefarious
a good word.
term. I don't know what. There's nothing nefarious about it. I am in the same camp. I'm confused. Other than you don't think he's any good, why you wouldn't? And yeah, does it all go away if he says, "Well, we're picking up the fifth-year option"? Why'd you have doubt in the first place on it? Other than I guess that's the part that it just doesn't make any sense to me. And I want to be explained. I want someone to option-splain me. Option-splain me why you wouldn't do it. And nobody has given me a good point. I'm all about analogy. Somebody just said, well, would you get married? And then after the first year, kind of, I don't know if I can go marriage with that. But that whole used car deal, leasing a car, none of that makes any sense. That analogy, nonsensical.
Also,
doesn't make any sense.
There's no real negotiation here because if the Packers are going to offer an extension, you're giving them and his agent hey, we want you to be the guy here. So you're not negotiating anything because it's a fifth-year deal.
Right. If you're negotiating an extension, you're telling them that we want you here beyond 2024 because you're not just signing him to a 2-year deal.
And the $20 million is baked into the cake.
Right. He's getting more than the $20 million.
There's no negotiation. Listen, I'm telling you, the Players Association did not want this a fifth-year option. They didn't. This was something the owners wanted because they could control cost for another year with a really good young player. And the fact that the Packers GM just said he thinks that's a lot of money when every other player is thinking if you're a stud or if you're really good, no, I want the guaranteed money. How many players are stoked when they get franchise tagged? Not many.
0.
Not only that, but how many guys don't want the fifth-year option? They want the extension first.
They
put the fifth-year option on TJ Watt was so pissed about the fifth-year option and that they didn't get the deal done that he reported to camp and then didn't do anything, did a hold-in until he got his extension.
The other thing, you always hear people say, well, we got to trade up to get that fifth-year option guy at the end of the first round so we can control his salary for another year. So for everybody, Christian, anybody else that wants to come at us with that, that's just foolish talk, okay? That is. Now, if you want to look at the other part of it, all fine. This part is all about cost certainty for management, and when you don't want that cost certainty, you should be allowed to ask questions about it.
Speaking of Christian Watson, the Packers tried to trade into number 32 a year ago with the Vikings so they would have the fifth-year option on him, too. And the Vikings said no, and then they had to settle for trading up to get him at 34, and he now will be only on a 4-year deal. So
I'm
if
sure
he
Christian Watson's going to be mad that if he continues on his trajectory, that they don't get to pay him less than market value that year. Hey,
all right, the calls are stacking up. I'm sorry. Let's get to some of your calls. Let's go to Bob in Port Washington first. Bob, sorry to make you wait. What do you got?
Well, I was wondering, I don't know what an average top-notch quarterback coming out of college gets, but we drafted Love, 6'4", 220-something pounds, mobile. He's been in the Packer organization for 3 years, learning under their system, under Aaron Rodgers. I don't understand why Goody would say that. He must know what he has in 3 years. Granted, he doesn't have much game experience. He looked good in Philadelphia, but after 3 years of working with Rodgers, watching Rodgers, observing him, you would think he would know. So I don't understand his answer.
Again, I don't either, Bob. I would just say this. If they pick up the fifth-year option, great. I thought that was a no-brainer. I think they should. That has caused me to think about how they really feel as compared to what they've said about him. And had that answer not been what the answer was, I wouldn't be thinking that way. I honestly did not prepare for this to be a story, frankly. Between people I talked to in the league and my own presumptions, I thought he was getting the fifth-year option, and then if he played really well this season, 8-9 games in, they extend him. And it includes the money that they were going to pay him for next year because they're so excited about what he's shown early on. I don't know how you interpret this as anything other than even if they give him the fifth-year option, that there is some uncertainty, even from the guy who drafted him. That's all I'm trying to say.
Yeah, and from a Packer fan standpoint, you should hope that they do pick up the fifth-year option because I know Packer fans are always concerned about the salary cap and the skyrocketing costs of quarterbacks and wide receivers. It is in the Packers' best interest for Jordan Love to be really good and to pick up his fifth-year option. And if it doesn't happen, the $20 million that you'd pay him next year, that's the price of doing business in this league.
800-990-3776, 800-990-3776. I want to get to more of your calls. This has been a lot. But I think you look at the voting on the poll, you look at the number of calls we have on hold, this is something that people are intrigued by. We have all week to talk about how great their draft was. So if you're in that group of people that they're mad that I'm not praising Lucas Van Ness or asking why his dad slapped his girlfriend on the ass in front of national television, we can get to that later. But this will be decided tomorrow by 3 o'clock, whether or not they're giving him the fifth-year option. And I didn't think it was going to be an issue. What is never an issue is me going to Fleet Farm, because you know how much I love going to Fleet Farm. I'm headed there today. I've got my Fleet Rewards credit card, which allows me to earn 4 points for every dollar I spend. I got a $25 gift card I get to use today.
That's the fifth-year option of gift cards.
Indeed it is. And you can catch great deals on fishing essentials, which is not my area. But if you love fishing, there's no better place than Fleet Farm, your fishing headquarters. You'll find top brands like Berkley, Rapala, and St. Croix to get ready to reel in your next big catch. Fleet Farm is your fishing headquarters, and while you're there, they also have everything you need to keep your four-legged friends happy and healthy, and Lord knows we got plenty of four-legged friends in this house. Shop their selection and score big savings on top brands in toys, treats, food, and more. And with Fleet Farm's price match guarantee, you'll always get the lowest price on pet food. Fleet Farm, proudly serving the Midwest since 1955. More of your calls are next. It's Wilde Tausch.
This is Wilde Tausch, driven by Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie on 100.5 ESPN. See their full inventory at ZimbrickChevrolet.com.
Every event tells a story, from the first impression to the final moments. Have someone guide your guests through every chapter the way you want the story told. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. With a strong presence, great voices, and an award-winning team, trust us to guide, direct, and inform your guests through all the different chapters of the day. For fun, memorable entertainment for any event, please visit us at celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
Clinical trials are essential to advancing medications, vaccines, and devices. LabCorp has been conducting clinical trials for over 40 years and has helped bring many of the medications we use today to market. You may be compensated up to $19,250 for time and participation in trials. At LabCorp, your safety is the #1 priority. Learn more about how you can help advance the future of medicine at LabCorpClinicalTrials.com. That's LabCorpClinicalTrials.com.
Mark Tosher here for Chalmers Jewelers. Well, it's always a good time to get that special someone in your life a beautiful gift. And when I'm in need of a new piece of jewelry, Chalmers Jewelers is my go-to place. Whether I want a timeless classic or a one-of-a-kind piece, Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton and Madison has just what I'm looking for. My life has been made so much easier thanks to the great team over at Chalmers Jewelers, and is the reason I keep going back for more. Visit chalmersjewelers.com to find your perfect new piece of jewelry today.
Your fitness on your time. Hi, it's Sarah Tauscher for the Prairie Athletic Club. Group fitness classes are now being offered every hour at the Pack, helping you achieve all of your health and fitness goals. Choose from body pump, RPM, and sprint, just to name a few. Make health and fitness a part of your everyday life in 2023. Come see for yourself why the Prairie Athletic Club is voted the best place to work out year after year. Spring forward with savings on your membership. Visit prairieathletic.com for details. That's prairieathletic.com.
Hey Madison, it's Dan Andrews from Simon Chevrolet in Mount Horeb. By now you know that you're only minutes away from a better buying experience at Simon Chevrolet in Mount Horeb. But what is a better buying experience? It's a car buying experience that is custom to what you want and need. We can be your trusted expert, or we can be hands-off until you're ready to purchase. If you're in the market for a new or new-to-you Chevy truck or SUV, make the short drive to Simon Chevrolet in Mount Horeb and see the difference a better buying experience can make.
Are you dreaming of a new look? Let the pros at 5 Star Painting bring color to your world, to your interior, exterior, cabinets, and more. We make it easy with online scheduling, free on-site estimates, and a dedicated project manager on every job. Uneasy about hiring a contractor? We know, we've been there. 5 Star Painting is customer-focused and quality-driven, exceeding expectations every time. Call or visit 5starpainting.com today. 5 Star Painting, a neighborly company.
Hi, this is Brian Posick, and I can't wait for Marco Siki's 5th annual Casting for Kids Fishing Tournament, Saturday, May 20th on the Madison Chain of Lakes, to benefit the American Family Children's Hospital and the UW Carbone Cancer Center. Check in at the Alliant Energy Center at 7 a.m. Fishing starts at 8, happy hour at 2:30, then dinner and auction at 3:30. It's a great day for fishing and fundraising on Saturday, May 20th. Register now and check out the online auction at castingforkids.org. That's casting4kids.org.
Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison, home of the Big Win and Madison Casino Guru, is transforming guests into winners. Making an ordinary day into a big win day is easy with a 95% average payout. And with over 140 daily jackpots, the number of people winning has never been bigger. So what are you waiting for? Escape to Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison for your next big win.
Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison.
Like, share, and follow ESPN Madison everywhere. Join us on Twitter, Facebook, and TikTok for more great content from ESPN Madison. This is 100.5 ESPN and Wisconsin On Demand.
Lady, I know you're feeling crazy. All your other friends are busy making them babies. Been out in the real world.
We're kind of still working through that. We've been so focused on the draft. We've had some preliminary conversations, but we'll get to that before Tuesday.
What would be the reason not to?
It's a lot of money for a guy who hasn't played, but at the same time, obviously, we're moving forward with him, so we'll figure that out by Tuesday.
Again, that is the exchange with Brian Gutekunst that we're talking about today. Let's get to some more of your calls so we can talk about the draft. 800-990-3776. Let's go to Joe in Cedarburg. Joe, good morning. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, I'm good. How are you? Coming at this.
All right.
Hey, at least you have good content.
It's true.
I'm coming at
Good
this
point.
from another direction. What
Okay.
if this is Love doing this? Like he's saying, you know what? I'm not going to play under that anyways. Don't even send that to me. I'm swapping it back in your face like the Kembe Mutombo. If you send me that, I'm sitting out. We got to work something else out. He's got all the leverage. There's nobody behind him. Even if he's bad, they're still going to play him next year, so they have to work something out with him. And then you got Goody up there talking like an idiot because he's sitting there going, I just got this guy out of here. That's been a pain in my side for years. Now I got this guy talking smack to me. He hasn't even started a snap yet. I'm exhausted because it's been the draft. You know, you ever come home and, like, you're taking your girl out and you're tired and you don't even want to go, and then she comes out and she's like, hey, how do I look? And you say something dumb. You're like, oh, it's not my favorite dress, but, you know, it's good. You know, that's just kind of like what it reminds me of. I think he said something dumb, and now he's sitting there going, why the hell did I say that? I'm such an idiot. And, you know, now you got to sit there and eat dinner with, and, you know, sit in awkward silence.
Another winning analogy for sure.
I love it, Al. I love the fact that people are bringing analogies to the table, and they're opening themselves up for criticism. The idea of coming at that from another angle, with Jordan Love saying, don't give me the fifth-year option. Jordan hadn't proven anything in this league. He ain't saying that. I think Jordan's head is down. He's working. He wants to have a great season. He wants to be the starting quarterback for the Packers for years to come, and he wants to be paid that way. That conversation, I feel fairly confident, is not anywhere on the spectrum of Goody's desk. I just don't think that's the case.
Let's keep going with the calls. I want to get to everybody that's been so patient. Let's go to Alan in Milwaukee. Alan, good morning. What do you think, buddy?
Hey, how's it going, y'all?
Good. I'm having a fantastic morning, Alan. How about you?
I'm doing the same. Tausch, since I know you love analogies, I do have one for you.
Yes! Oh, I love it. Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
So this is essentially Jordan Love's study abroad year. So typically, like we all know people who took, Spanish or French or something like that in high school, took 4 years, and they still can't speak the language. So like typically in college, you take 3 years worth. Senior year, they usually send you somewhere. They usually send you to France or Mexico or something, and you live with the host family. So you either can speak the language or you can't. So this is Jordan Love's 4th year where he has to either speak the NFL language or he can't. So by not signing him,
this.
I think they keep themselves cheap, because I think maybe there's a conversation on the back end that they might not get 2 years if Jordan Love stinks after they've just sent Aaron Rodgers somewhere. So by staying cheap, they allow themselves to be able to sign the guy who's going to save their jobs that second year. Because if you look at what they haven't done, and the backup, they haven't brought in a Colt McCoy or a Chase McDaniel, somebody who can be behind him that the fans aren't going to clamor for to play, like a Bridgewater or something like that, if Jordan Love stinks it up. So it's kind of like the absence of evidence is evidence. That's kind of where I'm headed with it.
This is pretty good. I'll say this, Alan, you've got my attention. You got my attention. I like it.
So, thanks for the call, Alan. I think, the study abroad part of it, you're exploring and you're trying to figure things out. But what he's saying there is the reason you don't give the fifth-year option is because you think he stinks. That's what he's saying right there. You keep your options open so that you can go.
Or he very well might stink.
And bring.
That there's a good chance he will stink.
No, if you think he's going to be average to above average, you're going to give him the fifth-year option, because you think that you're going to continue to grow, you're going to have growing pains, but you're going to get better, and you love his talent, which they obviously do. The not picking up the fifth-year option because you think you can get him cheaper than 20. If that's the case, then that means he's not any good. That's what that means.
Well, I just thought, and I want to
have.
Yeah, and I want to get to 2 more calls before we run out of time. I would also say this, though. It is interesting, the idea of not signing a free agent backup that people would clamor for to play if Jordan were to struggle the first half of the season. I have thought about that. I don't know what to make of that. I have a hard time picturing them going into the season with Sean Clifford as the backup. I have been pushing for Matt Ryan because I don't think Matt Ryan is going to have people clamoring for him to play based on how he played for Indianapolis last year.
If he does, good Lord, that means the season is gone haywire.
Yeah. All right, let's get to 2 more calls. Let's go to Randy, who is driving to Denver, which seems, I don't even like driving to Minneapolis. So God bless you. Drive safely. What are you thinking as you drive to the Golden Colorado Mountains?
Good morning, guys. How the heck are you?
Hey, how long of a drive is that from, let's say, Milwaukee to Denver? How far, what do you got ahead of you?
16, 17 hours to Boulder.
All right, that's one stop for the Tauschers. Is that about what you're doing? One stop?
Yeah, we're going to do one big stop. So, hey, you guys are great. I'm a long-time listener. Just wanted to bring up a couple different points. I think what you're saying is a very conservative thing. Pick up the option, no-brainer. However, let's put yourself in Goot's shoes. And I'm going to take it from a business perspective. And if I'm Goot, I'm basically saying, let's go with the performance-ridden contract. You play X amount of games, you win the division, you throw 68 to 70% pass completion. You're getting $20 million plus. When we use $20 million as the bar,
baseline,
so to speak.
Yeah.
And yeah, exactly. And oh, by the way, we get into the playoffs. Hey, Mr. Jordan Love, you can have $23 million, $24 million. You make it to All-Pro, we'll take it up to $26 million. However, if you only play 3 games, and we don't have the data as you all are saying, you're only going to get $15 million because you didn't meet the performance criteria, and thus, Goot is basically saying, yeah, it is a lot of money for something, and we know there's certain circumstances in the NFL that, let's face it, I can't swear, but blank happens, right? So if he only plays 3 games, he only gets $15 million, and he mitigated the risk $5 million, and next year we're already over the cap. We're in cap hell in 24. We don't clear it until 25 because of all of our dead money.
They're all right. So they're not in as bad. One of the things, and thanks for the call and drive safely. One of the things about the Rodgers trade is that that's all off their books now. So you take $40 million hit this year. Yes, there will still be some hits, right? When you move on from David Bakhtiari after this season, that will be a cap hit. There will be some others, but they're putting themselves in really good cap position for next year, and $20 million for their quarterback is not going to be a problem. They're not in that much of a troubling scenario. They're not.
Yeah, and if Jordan Love is any good, that is a great price
to
pay.
Let's take one last call so then we can clear the decks kind of like they are with their salary cap and talk about the draft during the 11 o'clock hour. Let's talk to John in Lombard. John, good morning. Thanks for waiting, buddy. What do you got?
Well, I really don't think that it's that big of a deal. I think he didn't anticipate the question, and he misspoke and then tried to cover himself.
Could be. Could be. Okay.
And
that's possible.
Instead of saying what he could have said and say there's a process, including timelines and announcements, that I hope that you will respect, and we'll leave it at that. But he did cover up and say we're going to continue going on. I think it's a done deal. It's going to happen. I'm not concerned. But he is a knucklehead at times. He is an absolute knucklehead. Starting with the Rodgers thing, not telling him that you're drafting a quarterback. And one thing, can I say one thing about the draft? Is that I'm glad he didn't. I am so glad he didn't draft Michael Myers with his first draft pick, and that's Michael Myers from Halloween with the mask, and he's very slow, and he probably couldn't track the ball. And
I thought that was that.
Well done, John. Thanks for the call. We appreciate you. Michael Mayer, yes, the tight end from Notre Dame / movie killer. Look, he may have just misspoke. I will tell you this. Bill Huber, concisely, on point, an outstanding question. And maybe it did come as a surprise to him. And maybe he just blurted out the answer. I don't know. All I would say, Tausch, is there are those in the league that I have spoken to that think that guys that come up as scouts and don't have the myriad of, and I've talked about this before, different experiences in different areas, they don't always take into account some of the aspects of being a general manager. I'm not saying that's Goody, but there have been some instances where you asked, did he really think through what he did there? And the Rodgers, the drafting of Love, not having any idea that was going to piss off a Hall of Famer the way it did. This answer here, look, I'm not going to rip him for these things. I'm just telling you I was surprised by the answer on Saturday night. And we'll see. Maybe it won't matter at all, and tomorrow Jordan Love will get the fifth-year option.
Yeah, I just want to understand and think through why he would say that. I have no problem with him saying it, and but the idea of that it's not a big deal if they don't pick up the fifth-year option, I disagree. I think it is a very big deal.
My clock management skills are poor. More Wilde Tausch straight ahead. Stick around.
This is Wilde Tausch, brought to you by Grassland Butter. Grassland Dairy is Wisconsin. Learn more at grasslandbutter.com. Rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Alex Strofe.
Big trailers and big opportunities at Stoughton Trailers. Immediate openings at the Broadhead, Evansville, and Stoughton locations. Assemblers, forklift drivers, and more. Apply at stojobs.com. The NFL Draft has come to a close, and 3 former Badgers have found their new homes. Center Joe Tippmann was drafted by the New York Jets in the 2nd round. Nose tackle Keanu Benton was drafted in the 2nd round to the Pittsburgh Steelers. And linebacker Nick Herbig was drafted to the Pittsburgh Steelers in the 4th round. Find the full draft results and other Badgers that were signed as undrafted free agents over at ESPNWisconsin.com.
Badger Minutes on ESPN Wisconsin are brought to you by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Schedule an appointment online today at PellaWI.com.
Hey, it's Jason Wilde here to tell you more about the team over at 5 Star Painting. Making decisions and finding a company you can trust to help you with your painting project can often be the most frustrating part for the home or business owner. From the initial measurement all the way through the final walkthrough, their team will be there for you step by step, and I can tell you from experience, they were great for me. They'll be great for you too. So learn more about the great team over at 5 Star Painting by visiting 5starpainting.com.
Are you excited to enjoy the great outdoors this summer without pesky mosquitoes buzzing by your head? Well, Mosquito Joe of Madison is here to get rid of those annoying mosquitoes, ticks, and fleas so you can enjoy your backyard in peace. Mosquito Joe also offers rodent and perimeter pest control to keep the creepy crawlers out of your house. Head over to madison.mosquitojoe.com to request a quote. Don't wait. Trust Mosquito Joe to get rid of the annoying buzz and make your summer bite-free.
Olson Toon has been customizing both residential and commercial outdoor living spaces since 1997. Matt Hamilton here from ESPN Madison. For over 50 years of combined experience in their management and design teams, Olson Toon has become one of Wisconsin's premier building and landscaping outdoor living firms. Landscaping and maintenance, irrigation, concrete work, pools, and more. If you have an outdoor living need, Olson Toon is here to help. Go to olsontoon.com to get started on your home project today. That's olsontoon.com.
Ben Brust from Scalzo and Brust to tell you about one of my favorite teams in the area, Zimbrick European. For over 3 years, I've trusted them with my car buying process, and I'm never going anywhere else. From Mercedes, Audi, Porsche, their pre-owned and Sprinter vans, they have something for everyone. Don't drive something ordinary when you can drive something extraordinary. I love the sexiest car on the lot that I found this time, a nice Zimbrick Mercedes. Find what you love. Test drive, and they will make leasing affordable. Zimbrick European.
The area's best high school sports coverage is Zimbrick Honda's presentation of Prep Mania.
And for the first time in school history, the Luther Knights are high school basketball state champions in Division 4.
The Pewaukee Pirates, 3 years in a row, are state champions.
Zimbrick Honda's Prep Mania is also brought to you by UW Credit Union, Stoughton Trailers, Nations Lending, and Stoughton Health.
For official rules and more information about every contest on 100.5 ESPN, visit ESPNWisconsinContests.com. That's ESPNWisconsinContests.com. You're listening to 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN app.
Stoughton Health provides comprehensive and compassionate care to Stoughton community and the entire Madison area. From our sports rehab facilities in Oregon and Stoughton to our renowned ortho team with Dr. Ravel, Stoughton Health can help. Learn more at StoughtonHealth.com.
Deja vu. Green Bay has traded with New York.
Aaron Rodgers is going to the New York Jets. It's official. It is happening, finally, after all this time.
This is 100.5 ESPN.
Are you listening? Whoa.
All right, if you have been in that group that wanted all draft talk all the time, you'll get plenty tomorrow, but you'll get some now. We'll do that coming up during the 11 o'clock hour. I just wanted to get – a lot of people waited a long time on hold. We try to be considerate around here. We appreciate your loyalty to the show. I wanted to get to your calls. Again, tomorrow at 3 p.m. is the deadline for the Packers to exercise their fifth-year option on quarterback Jordan Love, their first-round pick in 2020. Many teams have already decided and stated what they are doing with their first-round pick from that draft, including the ones that drafted quarterbacks that have publicly said they're picking up the fifth-year option for them. We'll have to wait and see what happens with Jordan Love. We'll find out tomorrow at 3 p.m. or perhaps before that if they announce their plans. But this is a question, and it became a bigger question because of the way it was handled after the draft on Saturday night. The 11 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch.
I feel like you're
I'm sorry.
apologizing for talk. Are you apologizing?
I'm not apologizing, but I do find it frustrating that there's a segment of the fan base that doesn't understand why this was a big deal. I don't understand why you don't understand that. Again, even if they give him the fifth-year option now, it wasn't just him answering a hypothetical. I got all these people in my it's just answering a hypothetical question. Where have you been? When you ask him a hypothetical question, you know what Brian Gutekunst responds with? That's a hypothetical. That's not what he did here. He chose to answer, and he said an answer that we all know is true. It's a lot of money to pay a guy that hasn't done it. We get it. But you cast your lot with him now. You have made him the guy. You got tired of a quarterback who was a hippie weirdo that you didn't like on a personal level and is a Hall of Famer on a player level. We got the Jets putting out these trailers for their own version of Hard Knocks called Flight 23, The Ascension.
Yeah.
So I'm just surprised. That's all. I'm not mad at him. And quite frankly, like I said, I was ready to praise him for 2 really good days and some really good day 3 picks, it would appear, in the draft. And we will do that for those of you that have been fiending for it in the 11 o'clock hour, which begins in 2 minutes. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin, the ESPN app, and Wisconsin On Demand.
Get everything you need for your backyard at Fleet Farm's Get Outdoors event. Score savings on lawn care equipment like lawnmowers and string trimmers. Plus, find great deals on dining sets and gazebos for the patio. Don't forget about the yard. Pick up Superior Potting Mix for just $3.99. And the Garden Center is now open. Stop in to check out Midwest-grown plants for your garden. Pick up everything you need to get outdoors at Fleet Farm.
Hey, this is Craig Karmazin. Join Kyle Wallace and me every Sunday morning for Sunday Karma on a Good Karma Brands radio station, 100.5 ESPN, WTLX, Monona, Madison.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN Madison studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
What's happening, Madison? I'm Alex Gravatt, and this is your Sports Center brought to you by 5 Star Painting, your residential and commercial professional painters for interiors, exteriors, kitchen cabinets, decks, and fences. Check them out at 5starpainting.com. The pick is in. And with the 13th pick in the 2023 NFL Draft, surely the Green Bay Packers would do something to help with Jordan Love's growth and development, right? Well, wrong. In true Gutekunst fashion, the Packers draft a defensive player, Lucas Van Ness, defensive end from Iowa. Here's Brian Gutekunst on his first-round pick.
So I just think there's a lot of growth there, and the physical traits are all there for him to grow, so there's no real limitation on him. But also is just the versatility of being able to win outside with speed and then also inside with power. So I just think there's so much in front of him, and I think that's just where his best football will be.
That means that 7 of Gutekunst's first 8-round draft picks have been used on the defensive side of the football, but the Packers have 3 picks tonight in the second and third rounds of the NFL Draft to address some of those offensive needs. There are also 3 Badgers still waiting to hear their name, with Keanu Benton, Joe Tippmann, and Nick Herbig all declared for the draft and expected to go in the first few rounds. Stay tuned to ESPN Madison socials to see where they end up.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or visit metrokiaofmadison.com.
11 o'clock hour of Wilde Tausch. All draft all the time begins now. So, Tausch, we did, and by the way, the balloting has gone much more toward the concern portion. It was 70-30 at one point. It's now creeping up on 62-38. So there's been an 8-point swing as this conversation has continued about the Jordan Love fifth-year option. But let's talk about the draft. And the question that I had planned on talking about before that answer on Saturday night from Goody was, who's your favorite pick and who's your least favorite pick? Now, I do have the one bias that Luke Musgrave, his dad and his uncle played for the Ducks, and then he went to Oregon State. I like everything about him except for the fact that he played 2 games last year. And there's a couple of guys in this draft class that you have a little bit of a question about some of the injuries they've dealt with, but the Packers signed off on him, and hopefully Luke Musgrave has a long and healthy career in the NFL. I mentioned earlier Grant Dubose, their 7th-round pick. Pop in your trunk or your hatchback, and there's Grant Dubose at a Montgomery, Alabama Walmart loading in your groceries for you at the online pickup area. And now he's an NFL player.
How did that work? Is it you call in or you order it in and then they bring, it's like car delivery, or?
So you order it on the app. You order it on the app, and then you drive to Walmart, and then because I have used this a couple times, I also use the outdoor pickup at Fleet Farm, although I have tended to go into the store because I enjoy Fleet Farm as much as I do now. Yeah. But you order on your Walmart app, you pull in, it tracks that you're there, you put in what parking spot you're in, and then someone like Grant DuBose comes out with a cart full of bags of your groceries. You open your hatchback, and that person puts them in for you, and then off you go.
Do you tip that person there, or do you tip on the app? How does that part of it work? Because obviously you tip, right?
Yeah, they don't. They do not allow you to tip. Like, I can't hand them a $5 bill. I can't put it on the app. So they should change that.
I worked at Walmart as a youth, and it is against company policy to accept tips. Now, people will do it, but if you get caught doing it, you will get fired.
See, I remember the old days going shopping. There used to be an old Shopko up in Marshfield. Then there was a grocery store, which I think was a Kohl's. Did Kohl's have grocery stores too?
They did, yeah, with the arcing roof.
Okay, I think it was a Kohl's. Yeah, real goofy roof, yeah. And we would go, and I could remember you'd have like the little thing, it would, in the side of the cart, a white thing with like black lettering that you'd have a number, and you'd have people pull your car around, and they would load your groceries from the cart into your hatchback.
Small town
touch.
I like it. Yeah.
Yeah, I love
nice.
that.
They have that at Woodman's still. They still have that at Woodman's.
Okay, good.
I don't use it, but you can pull around and they'll load your car for you, which is a nice touch.
All right.
All right.
I digress.
So that's not about the draft. Grant DuBose was doing that though at Walmart. I don't love the kicker pick. Nothing against Anders Carlson.
Mason, right?
No, it's not. No. If it had been Jake Moody, the kicker from Michigan, in the 5th round, I would not be saying that. I would be saying, thank you for your service, Mason. They picked the best kicker in the draft, and he doesn't have an injury history. Good pick. Fine.
Okay.
Instead, 12 out of 17, basically 50-50 from 40 yards out or more.
Yeah, that's not great.
And because your special teams coordinator coached his brother, you trust Rich Bisaccia's insight, so you made the pick. I don't love that one, and I don't love Sean Clifford. He seems like an outstanding kid, great leader. I don't know how good of a player he is. I watched Penn State games on the Big Ten Network and ABC. He played a lot of games. They had some success. They won a Rose Bowl. But I don't know what kind of NFL quarterback he's going to be. Those were the two that I was like, I'm not so sure about. How about you?
Yeah, I think for me, obviously everybody's excited, and we talked a lot on Friday about Van Ness and the fact that he has basically a floor in place already, which I love when you know what you're going to get, and then you hope that seal you can continue to go. I have been a South Dakota State fan for a while. And I think when you're looking at Tucker Kraft, Is now,
two last names.
I get
a little challenging. Yeah.
I get a little confused. So help me out on this. Tucker Kraft was the one that had the NIL deal that was offered to him to go to Bama, correct? Allegedly, the seven
he would not confirm that, but it was he would not say which schools, but he said it was a 6-figure offer. Yes,
Nice.
6-figure offer.
So I like his loyalty. Obviously, I used to be a big Jackrabbits fan because of Coach Eck and everything that they did, and they won a championship. He's got championship pedigree, and you start looking around now. Dallas Goedert was a tight end at South Dakota State, and he has been a very good pro for the Philadelphia Eagles. That position was a big need. Green Bay got one that you like, that's had injury history. He's been out. He hasn't played as much. And you double down and you make sure, don't just assume because you got one that's going to be good enough. I like the fact that you finally acknowledged that this spot needed youth infusion, and you brought two guys in that are going to grow together, that'll compete with each other. I love that move and what you did, and I'm really pulling for Tucker Kraft to be that guy, and we'll see how that shakes out. But I love that piece of it that you're looking at trying to figure out how can we be better. That position has been that, and safety. You could really look at the last back half of Aaron Rodgers' career and say, boy, just think if we could have. Jared Cook showed you what you could when you had him for a little bit, and then it's been chasing. Hopefully, with Jordan Love, these two young players, along with Dobbs and Watson, they all grow, and you're starting to talk about these guys as that next big dynamic group of skill players, and that when I'm drafting in a fantasy team football draft next year, and I take a flyer on the Green Bay Packers, I'll say, well, I got a tight end that's going to pop. I got a couple wideouts. I got options, whereas last year, they didn't get picked till 17th or 18th, and you probably asked that person that drafted them at 17, 18 and said, well, it was too high. Hopefully these guys will start that reset and get our skill positions great again.
So as an avid Wisconsin State Journal reader that I know you are, maybe not yet this morning, but I did write about this idea about this group growing together, right? A first-year starter at quarterback in Jordan Love. 3 wide receivers, Christian Watson, Romeo Dobbs, Samari Toure from last year's draft. 2 tight ends, Luke Musgrave and Tucker Kraft. I'm not happy that they also drafted someone with the last name of Carlson, because at one point I did say Tucker Carlson, who is not a football player. So that was not ideal. And then 3 more wide receivers. Like, I don't know if you remember the Michigan State game, but if you do, Jaden Reed caught the game-winning touchdown, threw a touchdown in overtime. He's a pretty darn good football player at number 50. Oh, and by the way, you traded back to accumulate extra picks, one of which you used on Tay Wicks, another wide receiver, in the 5th round. So I love what they did. My question for you is, this idea of them all growing together is great. And I wrote about it this morning. What a vision of 24 or 25 and all these guys having blossomed for Jordan Love. That is a projection, though. They all have to be good. It doesn't matter if they all grow together, if they all grow only a little bit and they're little stubby little shrubs and they're not big oaks. If that turns out to be the case, great. How confident are you, based on the information we have currently, which is not a ton, that this is going to really work? Because it's a great idea if it works. If it fails, somebody else is going to be the GM and the coach.
There's no doubt. What I like most about this year's draft, you hit need. You grabbed guys early that fit a need, and you didn't reach. You didn't grab, Dalton Kincaid or a tight end early, which is, I think, what a lot of folks thought was going to be the case. You took guys that you had graded with their athleticism and everything else. But what I like most about it is you went and took a lot of swings at the plate.
Right.
Are you going to strike out some? Absolutely. Are you going to hit some bunts back to the pitcher? All you really are looking for is let's get us some good line shots in the gap. Some are going to get caught, some are going to fall. And the more cracks you take, especially when you have a roster that was aging, especially in the skill positions last year, and you want to get youth and you want to grow together and you want all that, bring in a lot of guys. Bring in a lot of talent. Don't just, target and understand where you're coming from. If you're a Super Bowl caliber team and you have 2 or 3 roster spots, it doesn't pay to take a ton of guys that you don't think are going to make the team or just be practice squad guys. You then start looking at, okay, I think this guy could be a core special teams player. What you did here, and just looking at this list, you took a wide swath of really good players. You're bringing them in to compete, and you're bringing them in to develop them. And when you get, 13 new players, you've seen Goody's track record. He didn't cut a lot of draft picks, not in their first year.
Nope. No, he does
You're going
not.
to probably look at 11 or 12 of these cats are going to be on your 53 if you're going off of track record. Now it's up to the coaches to find roles and develop and get your special teams even better. And you're going to win in different ways than what you have in the past. And I think it's fantastic that you didn't just swap out trade picks and target and go, oh, well, we need this guy in there, and let's give up 2 7s. 7th-round picks matter. 6th-round picks matter. Get cracks at it. Next thing you know, you can find a Donald Driver. You can find John Runyon Jr., and you have these guys that can play and are fitting where you otherwise are looking, well, you don't know, we only got 8 of them. You rallied, you did the picks, and now it's up to you as a coaching staff to find roles that are going to work and develop these players into being good NFL professionals.
So Milt Hendrickson, the pride of the Pecatonica-Argyle region, who is essentially Goody's right-hand man, brought up the batting average euphemism, right? He said, you want to bat 300, but you really want to bat 300 with 13 swings at the plate instead of 7. For those of you that are curious like me, 4 hits out of 13 gets you over 300. 5 hits out of 13 gets you to 384. That's like Tony Gwynn territory. If they could be Tony Gwynn in this draft, they've set themselves up in a colossal way.
Yeah, and if you look at what they did not reach for safeties early, which is a position in need.
Yep.
They did not reach for offensive line because, you got to draft a lineman. I think it's always a mistake to not pick a couple because look at the track record of offensive linemen and the development. And, you can do that with undrafted guys too, but I always like at least taking a flyer on guys that their measurables match up. But Anthony Johnson is a junior. I always get confused on the safety from Iowa State.
He's
Anthony
a 5th-year
Johnson
senior
Jr.
who is a junior.
There you go. He will have an opportunity to start as a 7th-round pick, 6th-round pick, whatever. He was a later
He was
pick.
a 7th-round pick, and he was the most impressive one that I talked to out of all 13 picks.
Yeah, he's an older veteran player, but when you're in a position at the end of a draft, you have people calling, and you don't know if you're going to be an undrafted free agent. I'm guessing that if Anthony Johnson didn't get drafted, if I'm him, I look at you sit down with your team, and you say, all right, well, hey, they only have 2 safeties. They only have 6 linemen. They only have this.
Right.
Where can I go that I can make it? I bet Old Boy's pleased as punch. He probably is pissed that he went as long as he did. He didn't get drafted higher. But Tramon Williams, everybody will always tell you, drafting, you want to get picked higher because there's more money. But then once that check clears, it's about playing and earning your next one.
No doubt.
And Anthony Johnson, he's going to have opportunities to be a starting safety as a young player in this league because of the vacuum that the Green Bay Packers have. He will get all kinds of reps, all kinds of opportunities, and I think that's another player Packer fans should be excited about watching grow and develop.
Let me give you a little glimpse before we play trivia into the kind of guy Anthony Johnson Jr. is. He was planning on coming out after last season, the previous college season, 2021. He played corner for 4 years for the Cyclones. And Matt Campbell, their head coach, said, look, man, I think you're going to be a safety in the NFL. Now, he could have said, great, I'm going to go get drafted and make a little bit of money. And he had, and this Tausch, this is why you're going to like this guy, he had the wherewithal to say, it would be stupid for me to go now, end up on a team that's got plenty of corners, and I don't make the cut, and they try to move me to safety while I'm in training camp, and I'm not good enough, and next thing you know, I'm out of the league. So he came back for his extra year, moved to safety, still ended up drafted in the 7th round, but now he knows how to play safety at least. So it gives him a shot with this team. I was so impressed by him in our conference call. Not every young player thinks the way he thought, and I was really impressed by him. Again, he's got to do it, but those are the kinds of guys that you want on your team.
Is this the guy we want to, the Wilde Tausch team wants to adopt as our favorite rookie?
You mean we can't take Luke Musgrave from Oregon, being an Oregon guy, Oregon State guy? I will just say this:
AJJ. I'm pulling.
Yeah, he impressed the hell out of me. He did. He totally did. And so we'll see if we can. I think we should get him on the show.
They having rookie mini camps this weekend? Is that is the
they
rookie
are? Yes,
invites?
That is this weekend.
Let's
Correct.
wait because you gave us some great insight being up there last year with the Spindly talk, and this guy you were on Romeo Dobbs early.
Wiry.
So we'll wait before we make our official selection, but I think he is going to have an opportunity strictly from the position standpoint.
Sure.
He's going to get looks and get opportunities that I think a lot of these other guys aren't going to get.
Let's play some trivia. Joshy, did you get to do trivia, or did the evil genius Jesse Nelson do these?
It was the evil genius Jesse Nelson. I don't like using the word genius, so the evil Jesse Nelson.
The trivia villain, Jesse Nelson's trivia. Because he is under the weather, he's not here to ask the questions or pick the caller, but it is the Sports Weekend Recap. The Packers had 13 picks. We will take caller 13. 800-990-3776, 800-990-3776. We will play Wilde and Tausch trivia next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Jeff Levering and wife Ashley love their new patio door from Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
It's like having a brand new kitchen. It's so bright, it's so clear. I can see the kids outside playing.
I love the roll screen. The fact that the screen is on the inside, no drafts. It's a game changer.
Get 0% interest for up to 48 months at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and have everything installed in as little as a day. Visit PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. Offer ends 5/31/2023.
This Cinco de Mayo at Pasquale's Cantina.
Wait, list the specials.
I was getting there.
You're slow.
We just started.
Maybe you did, but I've been planning this since last Cinco de Mayo. This is one of Pasquale's biggest days.
Not my first rodeo.
We're doing $5 El Jimador margaritas, $5 Herradura shots, $5 Modelo tall taps, and $5 chips and guacamole.
I sense a theme. Pasquale's Cantina, bringing the flavors of the Southwest to the Midwest.
Come celebrate with us in Middleton and Verona.
Life's better with a home policy from American Family Insurance because you'll feel protected no matter how the wind blows. All so you can keep enjoying the home of your dreams. And our expert agents can help you save up to 23% when you bundle home with auto. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. American Family Insurance. Get a quote? Find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Ben Brust here to tell you about the Princeton Club. I joined the Princeton Club because I was looking for a place I could invest in my health, and the environment and the community I have felt has made it so easy for me to incorporate it into my everyday life. It doesn't matter where you're at in your fitness journey because they have something to offer everyone. It also goes beyond fitness. From the moment you walk in the club to the moment you walk out, there is a togetherness felt throughout the members and staff that keeps you going for your better tomorrow. Don't wait any longer and get started on your fitness journey today at PrincetonClub.net. That's PrincetonClub.net.
Hey Madison, it's Dan Andrews from Simon Chevrolet in Mount Horeb. By now you know that you're only minutes away from a better buying experience at Simon Chevrolet in Mount Horeb. But what is a better buying experience? It's a car buying experience that is custom to what you want and need. We can be your trusted expert, or we can be hands-off until you're ready to purchase. If you're in the market for a new or new-to-you Chevy truck or SUV, make the short drive to Simon Chevrolet in Mount Horeb and see the difference a better buying experience can make.
Hi, this is Brian Posick, and I can't wait for Marco Siki's 5th annual Casting for Kids Fishing Tournament, Saturday, May 20th on the Madison Chain of Lakes to benefit the American Family Children's Hospital and the UW Carbone Cancer Center. Check in at the Alliant Energy Center at 7 a.m. Fishing starts at 8, happy hour at 2:30, then dinner and auction at 3:30. It's a great day for fishing and fundraising on Saturday, May 20th. Register now and check out the online auction at castingforkids.org. That's casting4kids.org.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer. Our policy is to provide equal opportunity employment, development, and advancement to all current and potential teammates. If you are an organization that maintains a job bank, provides employment information, or gives job referrals, you may request to be placed on the station's mailing list for future career opportunities. To learn more about careers at Good Karma Brands, please email careers@goodkarmabrands.com.
For official rules and more information about every contest on 100.5 ESPN, visit ESPNWisconsinContests.com. That's ESPNWisconsinContests.com. You're listening to 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN app.
Stoughton Health provides comprehensive and compassionate care to Stoughton community and the entire Madison area. From our sports rehab facilities in Oregon and Stoughton to our renowned ortho team with Dr. Ravel, Stoughton Health can help. Learn more at StoughtonHealth.com.
The end of an era. Aaron Rodgers has been traded.
Because Aaron Rodgers screwed over the Packers over the last few years, this is the most good he could do with it.
This is 100.5 ESPN and Wisconsin On Demand.
I did not have Morrissey and the Smiths on my radio bingo card today for the music. Well done, Joshy.
Yeah, a little different music with old Joshy running the show. Big cat.
But we
Jerry Jeudy's fifth-year option, Jason, got picked up by the Denver Broncos.
Oh, that seems like a good idea by them.
No, I'm sure they're just trying to negotiate a long-term extension with him.
Let's play some trivia. I don't think that I have not checked ESPNWisconsinContest.com recently. Can the best friend of the trivia question writer be the contestant? Is that legal?
Bleep the rules. I make the rules today.
Dennis Tausch would say. Let's welcome in our contestants. It is Tier 1 Tyler, Jesse's friend. Member of the, what are they? The Screaming Eagles, the Pooping Pigeons. What are they?
The Golden Geese, Jason. Come on, man.
Oh, yeah. Oh, sorry. My bad. My bad. I haven't had my bubbler drink this morning, so I'm not on top of my game. Tyler, have you checked in on your good friend Jesse, who is under the weather?
It seems like Jesse's under the weather a lot, so I really don't when he's sick.
You ain't kidding about that,
It
Tyler.
does seem like he's under the weather a lot. You're exactly
Under the
right.
weather, coming off of weekends are going into them a lot, too, suspiciously.
Oh, so not a lot of midweek.
Monday off days are a little sketch.
Oh, not a lot of midweek weather conditions from Jesse J. Nelson. That's true.
All right, Tyler, here we go. Question number 1, because apparently Tausch doesn't have the questions.
Yeah, I don't know where they went. It's in the junk drawer.
So I'm going to ask them all. Let's see how the Golden Geese fare. Question number 1. Which team that set an NHL record for the most wins in a regular season in league history blew a 3-1 series lead and was eliminated in the first round of the Stanley Cup playoffs with a Game 7 overtime loss last night? Some might say that season now becomes a failure. Was it the Boston Bruins, the Los Angeles Kings, or the Peoria Rivermen?
You can always tell Jesse's writing the questions there. Boston Bruins.
Indeed. I don't know how the Peoria Rivermen fared in is it the IHL, the AHL? They're like a big rival of the Milwaukee Admirals, right? But the correct answer is indeed the Boston Bruins. Question 2. Tausch, how's this going so far for you think?
It's smooth for me. Yeah, it's that's
okay,
part
good.
of the
I'm glad you're
shrapnel. Yeah.
Question 2, Tyler. Along with manager Craig Counsell, which Brewers player was ejected during Milwaukee's 7-5 win Saturday night over the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim at AmFam Field? Was it Christian Yelich, Willie Adames, or William Contreras?
Willie Adames.
I almost feel like we're insulting Tyler's intelligence with these questions.
Yeah, this is...
Well, I also want to say that was
him.
a really bad call by that too. Man, was it terrible. Terrible
he
call.
was legitimately... He had every right to be mad. No doubt. All right, let's wrap this up here with a perfect start to the week, shall we?
Can you challenge Tyler a little bit here? This has been way too simple for a man of his...
I'm just reading the questions I've been given, which you apparently weren't. Question 3. The San Francisco Giants and the San Diego Padres played a 2-game series at which of these international locations over the weekend? Was it San Juan, Puerto Rico, Havana, Cuba, or Mexico City, Mexico?
Mexico City.
He feels so disrespected. Like if these were questions at
total slap
Stubby's
to the face.
Very easy.
For the, I mean, maybe we are understanding now why Jesse makes some questions really hard, though, because he and Tyler are such savants at trivia that he thinks everyone should be as good at it as they are. I also think that Tyler probably does most of the heavy lifting for the Golden Geese. Don't we think that?
I will say Jesse is very creative in the stuff that he knows. So I will give him credit there. He knows.
You're such a good friend.
Like, he is a good friend. That's why he's tier 1.
I can't rule out collusion.
That's why he's our tier 1 of Jesse's buddies, and he's Jesse's tier 1.
I'm answering the phones here, but those questions were oddly easy, and it's odd that Tyler was the one who got picked. I don't know what they're doing.
You think
Malfeasance?
Something nefarious?
I think they
What's
need
going on?
investigation.
Yeah, this weekend you would have got those answers correct.
You answered the call.
Yeah, maybe they messed with my phone lines. Who's to tell? I don't know.
Wow, you're a conspiracy theorist. You and Aaron Rodgers finally have something in common. Tyler, you got all 3 right. That means you got 4 entries into Friday's drawing. We appreciate you. We appreciate your bubbler drinks. And we appreciate... How's fatherhood treating you before we let you go?
Tiring. I never knew how tiring it could be. It's just tiring, man. That's all I can say.
Is it more tiring?
Ever. Wouldn't trade it for the world.
More tiring than being Jesse's friend?
No. Come on. He's easy.
Tyler, congratulations. Good work, buddy. Speaking of something that you might want to crack open when you're tired at the end of a long draft or a long week, Crack open a Coors Light.
Oh, yeah, up in Duluth last weekend watching our team win a championship. We celebrated with the only beer we love, and that is Coors Light. Brewed with a 3-step cold process, cold lager, cold filtered, and it's cold packaged, so it is made to chill. And the mountains, well, it was really cold up in Duluth, and the mountains were blue as well. That's when we knew its cold-activated bottles and cans were chilled to perfection. That's why it is always Coors Light in my hand when I need a moment to chill. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
We'll talk a little bit more about the draft and do Whoa, Joshy. Straight ahead. Stick around. It's Wilde Tausch.
This is Wilde Tausch, driven by Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie on 100.5 ESPN. See their full inventory at ZimbrickChevrolet.com.
Mark Tauscher here, telling you that now is the time to call Mosquito Joe of Madison. If you're like me, you're looking forward to grilling and hanging out in the backyard this summer. Don't let mosquitoes stop you. My family and I, we are so happy to have Mosquito Joe on our team. So thankful they were able to help us out last year, and we know trusting Mosquito Joe means we get to do less swatting and much more relaxing this summer. And Mosquito Joe now offers perimeter pest control to keep the ants, the stink bugs, the spiders, and other crawlers out of your house. Go to madison.mosquitojoe.com to request a quote today. That's madison.mosquitojoe.com. Outside is fun again when you go with Mosquito Joe.
When you're injured, call Wisconsin's own Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all. Proudly serving Wisconsin for over 30 years and proudly partnering with Wilde Tausch. Miss any of the show? Find it with Wisconsin On Demand. Presented by Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Ben Brust from Scalzo and Brust to tell you about one of my favorite teams in the area, Zimbrick European. For over 3 years, I've trusted them with my car buying process, and I'm never going anywhere else. From Mercedes, Audi, Porsche, their pre-owned and Sprinter vans, they have something for everyone. Don't drive something ordinary when you can drive something extraordinary. I love the sexiest car on the lot that I found this time, a nice Zimbrick Mercedes. Find what you love. Test drive, and they will make leasing affordable. Zimbrick European.
I am the fittest, healthiest, and lightest I've been in years thanks to the team at Carbon World Health. Jim Rutledge here, and I've been working with Dr. Nestor Rodriguez and his training staff for years now, and I've seen my fitness and strength increase steadily. Now I'm seeing weight loss like I've never expected thanks to semaglutide. I'm dropping fat, not muscle, with this game-changing, FDA-approved weight loss treatment. Go to carbonworldhealth.com today to learn more.
You can't miss a moment with Greeny.
This is royalty. Do I bow? What does one do when the king comes to town? He chose us. And now I know what it's like to be the beautiful cheerleader. I've never been the beautiful cheerleader. I've never been the beautiful anything. The prettiest cheerleader is always the one who winds up with the quarterback, right? Especially when the quarterback is Aaron Rodgers. So I don't know how to feel, but I'm going to have a really good time finding out.
Greeny, weekdays noon to 2 on 100.5 ESPN.
Since J&K Security Solutions opened in 1987, our attention to detail and customer service have been our strongest assets. I'm Vice President Jeffrey Beckman. We'll always do our best to find the most efficient and cost-effective solution to every job we tackle. Whether it's security for your home or business, installing video surveillance, or being able to control your garage doors from your phone, we can help you feel empowered with simple and user-friendly technology. Let's work together to secure your home or business. jksecurity.com.
Since 1956, Holman Lindsay Paints has been making paint in Wisconsin for Wisconsin. Because of their commitment to making great paint for Wisconsinites, Holman Lindsay has grown over the years to 26 locations in this great state. Headquarters in Sun Prairie with a state-of-the-art facility, Holman Lindsay has the paint you need to make your job better. From do-it-yourself to professional, Holman Lindsay has paint for everyone. Visit one of their local locations today in Madison, Sun Prairie, Middleton, and Janesville.
Stoughton Health provides comprehensive and compassionate care to Stoughton community and the entire Madison area. From our sports rehab facilities in Oregon and Stoughton to our renowned ortho team with Dr. Ravel, Stoughton Health can help. Learn more at stoughtonhealth.com.
Hi, I'm Madison Money Guy, Christian Finfrock with Retirement Income Strategies. And what sets us apart is we're an independent, family-run office. We help clients like you understand the financial world and build a portfolio that's in your best interest. To learn more, go to madisonmoneyguy.com.
Hey, this is Craig Karmazin, founder of Good Karma Brands. Join Kyle Wallace and me every Sunday morning from 10 to noon for Sunday Karma here on 100.5 ESPN and Wisconsin On Demand.
the second time, Tausch, in 48 hours, someone has made a statement that has really taken me by surprise. One was Goody with the 50-year option thing. And now he's sick, but he's watching the show on the video stream.
Okay.
Jesse Nelson chiming in and saying about his Tier 1 friend. I say Tyler should be banned from Wilde Tausch trivia.
Why?
I don't understand it. And he's already announced privately, I'm just going to put his business on the street, that he's going to make sure that Tyler doesn't win the drawing at the end of the week.
Uh-oh.
You want to talk about nefarious malfeasance? Yeah. What are we doing here? He's your friend.
That's very malfeasant. That's very malfeasant, ye.
Mm-hmm.
Ye.
What? Tyler, all Tyler ever did was be your friend, man. You're preventing him from getting an ESPN Wisconsin prize pack.
Do we need to bring in an independent trivia drawer this week to make sure that there's no malfeasance?
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah. Wooly, get ready, Wooly. I think Wooly needs to be the arbiter this weekend.
Coming out of the bullpen
on Friday.
Let's do some whoa, Joshy.
If the topic is good, the guys discuss.
Just the other morning I had breakfast at Tracy Rocker's house. His mama brought out 15 flapjacks. He said, Mama, take back 5 of them flapjacks. I gotta stay hungry for the Crimson Tide.
But if it's not, the show must go on. It's time for
Whoa, Nelly!
On Wilde and Tausch.
Hello, fellas. I want to start with something that was briefly mentioned. It took the internet by storm all day Friday and even into the weekend. It is Lucas Van Ness's...
I know what you're asking.
You know what I'm asking. Lucas Van Ness's father was shown on national television giving a double butt slap to Lucas Van Ness's girlfriend, who also happens to be Colt Kmet's sister. I think we're all on the same page that it is IPT in poor taste. But what I want to know is... do you approach your father in that setting and ask, hey, what the heck happened, man? Do you ignore it? How does this go on Friday as you see this all over the internet? I'd love to know.
Yeah, Joshy, so I saw you guys reenact it on Scalzo and Brust. 4 to 6 on these very airwaves. What did most fans come back and answer that question?
There was a lot of, I think you have to say something, but we don't really know how you say it. It kind of feels like a situation where the dad has to approach Lucas and be like, hey, man, I got caught up in the moment. I didn't know what I was doing. You know me better than that. But either way, it's a tough sell, because if you rewatch the video, as we all did many, many times, seemed to be some deliberate intention there.
You're putting intention with your video watching.
It didn't seem like an accident, because we've all been in a situation, you go for a hug, maybe you accidentally graze a butt. We've done that before. But this one was like you would on the baseball field after somebody scores on a double. First to third.
Yeah, I'm guessing this guy was a coach at some point. I'm guessing Van Ness's dad probably coached him, and there is, I don't know what that conversation sounds like. It's going to be awkward. The dad there is going to definitely be, I would think, apologetic. I don't know. Every family dynamic is different. I think this one would be fascinating. Jason, the young man will be up here for rookie minicamp on Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
I
think you have to ask.
Yeah.
I think that's something you have to ask. The people want to know.
All right, so, hey, what'd you say to your dad after he slapped your girlfriend's ass? That's what you want me to ask him?
Yeah. You're more tactful than that, but I'll say this. I never thought, Favre wasn't drafted by the Packers, but that old picture of him with his jorts, with the old phone,
sure,
laying back in bed with a full, having a great old time. buddies and everything else. I didn't think there'd be another image of a Packer draft that would even come close in the new age where everything is monitored and videoed and everything else.
Yeah.
This might be it. The Van Nesses had a heck of a time that night, and they should. Probably a little bit too much fun.
Yeah, so when you're covering the draft, and we obviously had our ESPN Madison and ESPN Milwaukee full boat programming. I was on both stations when the pick was made, after the pick was made. Yep. No. I'm saying I didn't see that until later, and I was like, holy cow. Because to Josh's point, that wasn't like just an accidental graze as you're exiting the embrace. That was you made the effort to smack her behind, and not only once but with each hand. That was another thing that took me by surprise from the weekend. He would give her the fifth-year option. That would be evident. Whoa, Joshy.
Whoa, Nelly. On Friday, we heard a lot of consternation. I read a lot of it, heard it on Scalzo and Bruss, across all the airwaves of the Packers not helping out Jordan Love. Well, by the end of the draft, they ended up with 3 wide receivers, 2 tight ends, and I believe a running back added to the mix via the draft. If you had to pick, which rookie skill player do you think makes the biggest impact in year one? Tight ends are historically slow to get a start, but there ain't many people ahead of them, so they might have no other option.
Great question.
I thought you were going to go into 3 wide receivers, 2 tight ends, and a running back.
And a running back.
I thought that's where it's Tucker Kraft. It's Tucker Kraft.
The Jackrabbit.
That's who's going to. First off, it's going to be Dobbs and Watson. Going to be heavy run game, but you know what they want. They want to run the football. They want to get back to the Kyle Shanahan, McVay. They want Tucker Kraft to be their George Kittle. They want him to be what Bob Tunyon wasn't. That's what they want. And they'll emphasize it, and they're going to try and have one of these young tight ends pop, and I think Tucker Kraft's going to be the guy.
I know you love your Jackrabbits, and you love Coach Eck. And now we got to love the Vandals, right? That's what Idaho is, the Vandals?
V's up, they say. V's up.
I'm eager to see what Tucker Kraft ends up being for them. I do have to think every time I say his name. It's going to take a while. I'm sorry. But he's an intriguing player. There's no doubt about it. Luke Musgrave the same way. But to Joshy's point, even with very few options ahead of them, tight end, even Matt LaFleur said it after the draft, it's a tough position to get down as a rookie. Jermichael Finley, you were on that team. Jermichael Finley, I think, had a touchdown catch, maybe 4 or 5 catches as a rookie. Didn't play a whole lot. It's hard. And he ended up being a stud for you the next year. So I'm going to take Jaden Reed out of the group that was drafted this weekend. I think he's going to have a heck of an opportunity. They're not going to have Cobb. They obviously don't have Amari Rodgers anymore. He's going to be the slot guy, and he's going to have a bunch of success. That's my pick.
Whoa, Nelly! This might be better served for Feel Good Friday, but Friday's a long way away, so I'm gonna talk about it. Deuce Vaughn.
A lot of time for Jesse to get sick so you can work.
Hey.
Yes.
You think you're not going to be working Friday? Get out of here.
Yeah, let's not. Well, I'll be on vacation, so I know I won't be. So maybe Ashton will be, but that's not my problem to deal with. Deuce Vaughn got drafted by his father, a Dallas Cowboy scout. Everyone saw the video going around on Twitter. It was a wholesome moment, but it did make me think, what if you got to cut this guy? How's that going to go with old Pops, Mike McCarthy, and everyone there? It felt good in the moment, but I couldn't stop my mind from going, like, he's a 6th rounder. That doesn't guarantee his time.
Why don't you just embrace, Josh, why don't you just let a moment set in before you're already getting all negative?
Yeah, it's been 24 hours.
Let it go till, like, training camp. Everybody understands the big boy league. Old boy's been around it enough. His dad's been in the front office and personnel for a while. He knows it would stink, but it's not going to ever take away that moment, because that moment, I saw that on social media too. That's pretty dang cool. I think that was the best moment. Unless somebody saw a different one, that was better from an emotional standpoint. That's what it's all about. Being able to share that with your family and your dad being a part of it that's pretty cool stuff.
I agree, and shame on you for ruining that moment by waiting for him to get cut.
How is that a feel-good Friday? How is he going to get cut by the team?
Well, I think for Friday he would have left that second part out. Yeah.
I was going to say, he's
would
like
he have?
He's like a 5'6" running back. He can't really do much
He's
else.
a diminutive fellow. He is indeed. Josh would have left
so
that
was Darren Sproles.
Uh-huh.
He was diminutive.
Austin Eckler's not a huge
run.
guy either. I don't want to leave out Tausch's opportunity to remind us of our great partnership with AmFam, though.
Yeah, and you know what? We're excited. Badger fans, big stuff on the horizon. And American Family Insurance wants to give you and a friend a VIP experience at a Badger football or basketball game during the 2023 season. You and a friend receive pregame, sideline, or courtside passes, tour of the facilities, and tons of merch to support your Badgers. Enter today at amfam.com/Badgers. That's amfam.com/Badgers. No purchase necessary. Insure carefully. Dream fearlessly.
We'll wrap things up next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, brought to you by Grassland Butter. Grassland Dairy is Wisconsin. Learn more at grasslandbutter.com. Rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Alex Strofe.
This Badger Minute brought to you by the Great Dane Pub and Brewing Company, Madison's home for craft beer and pub food since 1994. Find the Great Dane nearest you at greatdanepub.com. The NFL draft has come to a close, and two former Badgers are headed to the Steel City. Nose tackle Keanu Benton and linebacker Nick Herbig were each selected by the Pittsburgh Steelers over the weekend, and they joined four other former Badgers already on the Steelers roster, including brothers T.J. Watt and Derek Watt, Isaiah Loudermilk, and Scott Nelson. Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin on the Wisconsin pipeline.
You know, sometimes a place like Wisconsin is a stylistic match. Always had a lot of respect for Jim Leonard. They do a lot of similar things that we do.
Badger Minutes on ESPN Wisconsin are brought to you by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Schedule an appointment online today at PellaWI.com.
Mark Tosher here for Chalmers Jewelers. Well, it's always a good time to get that special someone in your life a beautiful gift. And when I'm in need of a new piece of jewelry, Chalmers Jewelers is my go-to place. Whether I want a timeless classic or a one-of-a-kind piece, Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton and Madison has just what I'm looking for. My life has been made so much easier thanks to the great team over at Chalmers Jewelers, and is the reason I keep going back for more. Visit chalmersjewelers.com to find your perfect new piece of jewelry today.
Jeff Levering and wife Ashley love their new patio door from Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
It's like having a brand new kitchen. It's so bright, it's so clear. I can see the kids outside playing.
I love the roll screen. The fact that the screen is on the inside, no drafts. It's a game changer.
Get 0% interest for up to 48 months at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and have everything installed in as little as a day. Visit PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. Offer ends 5/31/2023.
Zimbrick Chevrolet.
When was the last time you had your oil changed or your tires rotated? Do you need new tires, a battery, perhaps some windshield wipers? Zimbrick Chevrolet Service Center is equipped to help you with routine maintenance, major repairs, and everything in between. Get your free battery inspection coupon and schedule an appointment today at ZimbrickChevrolet.com. Don't overpay. Shop Zimbrick Chevrolet on Main Street in Sun Prairie.
Main Street, Sun Prairie. Zimbrick Chevrolet.
Join the club that offers you more, Prairie Athletic Club. Hi, it's Sarah Tauscher, and my family loves the Prairie Athletic Club. Check out all that the Pack has to offer, including their fitness classes like CrossFit, Pilates, and hot yoga, to name a few. No other health club offers you more for your money, offering over 150 group fitness classes per week, plus indoor pools, basketball courts, and so much more. Stop by Prairie Athletic Club today or visit them at prairieathletic.com to check out their membership specials. That's prairieathletic.com.
The 2023 season is underway and Fun for All is back with the Forward Madison FC Family Special on sale now. Bring the family to exciting professional soccer at Breeze Stevens Field. Enjoy a ticket, Pepsi product, sandwich, and a Forward Madison scarf for just $21. Forward Madison has fun for the whole family. Enjoy Lionella Vessi, the team's dairy cow, our new kids zone, and more at every Forward Madison match. For tickets, go to forwardmadisonfc.com. Forward Madison, fun for all.
Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison, home of the Big Win and Madison Casino Guru, is transforming guests into winners. Making an ordinary day into a big win day is easy with a 95% average payout. And with over 140 daily jackpots, the number of people winning has never been bigger. So what are you waiting for? Escape to Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison for your next big win.
Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison.
On the air, on demand, on social, on Wisconsin Sports. Serving Wisconsin sports fans. This is 100.5 ESPN.
We got to go because my management of the clock was McCarthy-like. But just so you know, we got 2,356 votes and counting. Does the uncertainty about Jordan Love and the fifth-year option concern you? Yes, 37.7% of you. No, 62.3% of you. You can keep voting on that all the way into tomorrow's show. We'll do it again tomorrow. Have a great day. Take care. Be good.
Miss any of today's episode of Wilde Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin? Commercial-free full show podcasts are available free on Wisconsin On Demand.
For official rules and more information about every contest on 100.5 ESPN, visit ESPNWisconsinContest.com. That's ESPNWisconsinContests.com. You're listening to 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN app.
Hey, this is Eric Name of The Athletic. You're listening to Madison's home of the Bucks, 100.5 ESPN, WTLX Monona, Madison, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN Madison studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
What is up, Madison? I'm Hunter Vaughn. Your Sports Center update is brought to you by Stoughton Health, providing experienced physicians, nurses, therapists, technicians, and staff for personalized, forward-thinking, expert health care. Stoughton Health, trusted care close to home. Well, the Packers 2023 draft headlines focused on defensive end Lucas Van Ness being the first pick at number 13 for the Green Bay Packers. They did follow that up by getting some weapons for Jordan Love, taking tight end Luke Musgrove from Oregon State in the second, and then 8 picks later, taking Michigan State wide receiver Jaden Reed. You can get all of your draft grades and analysis over at ESPNWisconsin.com. In Major League Baseball, the Brewers couldn't get the sweep against the Angels yesterday as they fell 3-0. Milwaukee is off today and will be back at it in Colorado tomorrow for a 7:40 first pitch. And that will be game 1 of 3, followed by 3 games out in San Francisco against the Giants. Greeny starts right now.
Metro